Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Saturday. All right, back in the lion's den. Okay, we are back in the lion's den. Zeus is back in the lion's den. Actually, there we go. Mexican Guru, shout out. How you doing this lovely Saturday morning, champion? How are you doing? Thank you for the TikTok gifts. Yes. We are once again in the infamous closet of truth, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm a little confused about who's lying out here. Yes, thank you so much. I'm a little confused about who's really lying and who's really telling the truth when it comes to President Joe Biden and 382 JK. Which comment are you referring to? Okay, because what I have right here, more receipts. Amir, greetings. I have more receipts about, I was listening to these live. Yes, with those Zeus and Jack Smith emotes in the chat, please. I always love it when those show up in the chat section, okay? Because quiet as it is kept, Jack Smith is real. These cases, hello, CC. Yes, it is I, Triple H. Jack Smith is real. It's going to get a little hot in here. Let me get my, sometimes these pastors, when they're out and they're preaching, they start sweating and things like that. And you got to have a little handkerchief to, wipe the sweat off your face. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who I am, my name is Mr. Crossing. My name is, some people call me Zeus, and others do refer to me as Triple H. And why do they refer to me as Triple H? Well, those of you who know my brand of entertainment, it's clear. I'm Triple H because I am honest. Yes, I am the most honest person on TikTok. H, humble. I am the most humble person on TikTok. Yes, thank you, Mexican Guru. Make sure you follow Mexican Guru. He's a good friend of mine. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, I am the most handsome. You're not sure who's lying these days. Great. Well, I was cruising through the internet and, I wanted to figure out what lies, what conspiracies are floating around out there. Okay? Yes, thank you, CC. And I found the receipts. And I'm looking for some of my friends out there who brand themselves as Trump supporters. I would love for any of you to get into the box with me today and share with me what you know about all of these conspiracy theories promoted by Donald J. Trump. Yes, I am the most handsome. Cut it out. So the first conspiracy that I'm hoping I can get clarification on, because yesterday I was in this live and they said, what has Trump lied about? They go, what has Trump lied about? Biden lies about everything. Tell me one thing Trump has lied about. This is what they say. A shooter, you got to go get your glasses, put them on, because I am the most handsome. There's no one else out here that is as handsome as I am. Cut it out. And I mean that with the utmost respect. So the first, you're a zero. Trump's track record, 494 successful businesses out of 500. Mike Tyson, really? Name me one business that Trump ran that is successful. If you could just put one out there, I'll go with it, okay? Now, the first conspiracy that I need clarification on is Obama's citizenship conspiracy theory, the birtherism. Um, is there anybody out there that can give me more context to whether or not this is true? And if it is true, why do you believe it is true? Are people out here still believing that the former President Barack Obama, was it born in the United States? And this is one of Trump's conspiracies, okay? So if no one can jump in the box and prove me wrong, I'm going to take this handy dandy pen of mine. I'm going to take this handy dandy pen of mine, and I'm going to cross this off as one lie that Trump has made, okay, along the laundry list. Good morning, Bamba. Yeah, it is Saturday. Yes, 86 Fox News, one American News, same old, unfortunately. Hey, Mariah, nice to see you. Long time no see. 8 Trump Towers in 5 countries and a Mar-a-Lago. You have 0. Oh, okay. So you know that, these businesses that you see with Trump's name on it, he's just giving them the right to use his name. That's not really him running those hotels. Now, come on. So there's no business that Trump has ran that you can say is successful, okay? So birtherism, Obama was born in the United States. He was born in Hawaii. You can go look that up. So we're going to go ahead and say Trump was lying right there. Cooper, I'm not lying. I'm the most honest person on TikTok, and you know it. Moving on. Support for ISIS. Support for ISIS conspiracy theory. Can anyone out there, any of you Trump supporters, explain what this support for ISIS theory is about? And what does Trump mean? Okay. We have a Clinton body count conspiracy theory. Oh, the country has been in a downward spiral since Barack. Okay, I gotta talk about that one. Oh, these are all true? These are all true. Can someone get in the box and please explain any of these conspiracy theories are? And by the way, the country did not go in a downward spiral when Barack got into office. What actually ended up happening is it was in a downward spiral because of George Bush, remember? And we were in a recession. The housing market had crumbled, and Obama, with his vice president, God bless President Joe Biden, they got in here and they turned the country around and they got us back on track. Okay. They brought us together like you wouldn't believe it. Okay. So this conspiracy theory that Obama divided the country, it needs to end today. As a matter of fact, I will say this. Yesterday, I showed you, let me see if I still have it. I don't got to lie to you. Nope. You know me, I'm the most honest person on TikTok. So why would I lie to you? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there's no reason to get out here and start lying. Okay, let me see if I have this information. Okay, let me see if I have it. Oh, that guy? Oh, hold on. Shout out to President Barack Obama. Okay, if you have been watching what he's been doing, he has single-handedly been helping to unite this country behind the scenes. Now, I would like to also stop a lot of people in their tracks. I heard this conspiracy. I got the list of them right here. They say Obama is the one really running the White House right now. This is the new thing. Biden, he's off in La La Land, and it's really President Obama behind the scenes running a shadow government, okay? This is what I'm hearing them say. If this is happening, you know what? What's the problem? What's the problem with letting Obama get off a little longer, huh? He saved us once, he can save us again. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, let's all go back to the glory days when Obama was not a great divider. He was a uniter. Okay. Now, let me get to what I wanted to talk about when I brought up this Obama thing. Okay. Oops, wrong one. Oops. Let me see. Let me make sure I got it. Okay. Hold on. There's just so many things. There's so many things that I could dive into, but maybe I don't have it on standby like I thought I did. Hold on, hold on. Hold on, hold on. Mm. You know what? I don't think I have it, but I'll speak on it because I know what it was about. Oh, oh, I think I found something, but you know what? It's not. Oh, there it is. There it is. And I covered this a couple of days ago. Is this what you're talking about when you said Obama has been the greatest divider in our country? Is this what you were referring to? Okay. Hate crimes doubled since Trump entered politics. Is this what you're referring to? Okay. Now, many people, they don't want to talk about this, but you know what? If you want to bring up the division, let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. Yeah, I remember that. Going back to 2008. Yeah. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make sure I got it. Oh, okay, right here. Most hate crimes, they were targeted against, black religious groups, Jews, Muslims, frequently hit and an LGBTQ community. And those crimes, they shot up with the election of Barack Obama. I think this is what they mean when they say he was a divider. But that only happened because he was the nation's first black president. You got to understand there's inputs and then there's outcomes, okay? The outcome of him being elected turned into this increase in hate crimes. Then what you have after that is it's doubled since Donald Trump entered politics. So ladies and gentlemen, when they get into the box, and they try to convince you that, Obama was the great divider, I just ask that they tell the truth. Okay, tell the truth. Oh, it was not Obama. It wasn't Obama. Okay, it wasn't. Let me see. Let me get this out of here. Now let me get back to my favorite picture. Okay, happy Saturday. Okay, yeah, there we go. Oh, we got people who want to come in the box and talk to Zeus. Let's do it.
Good morning, Zeus.
Good morning, Felix. How are
Hold
you?
on. Okay, hold on. Let me get the camera on. I'm walking to the bus to go to
Oh,
work.
here we go again. Here we go again.
What do you mean, here we go again?
You're walking to the bus, Felix. Come on, explain yourself.
I'm going to work. I gotta go to work, make money, right?
Okay. Go for it.
Okay.
What brings
First
you
of
to the
all,
kingdom, Felix?
Okay, you're right about one thing. I'm not gonna say anything about anything else.
What am I right about?
That. But okay. You're right. Obama is born in Hawaii. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, but wait. His dad's Kenya.
That's
So
fine.
he had Kenya.
But Felix, that's fine. We're not worried about what you just suggested, okay? It's not. There's nothing wrong with Obama having a father. Yeah, there you go. There's nothing wrong with Obama's father being from Kenya. You do know that, right, Felix?
Yeah, but he's half and half.
Half and half what? He's an American. He was born in Hawaii. Doesn't
He's
that make
half
you
and
American?
half. Okay,
Doesn't
yeah,
that
he's
make
born in
you
Hawaii,
American,
but he's
Felix?
half and half.
Felix, what does it take to be an American citizen?
I guess you have to just be born in
And
United
half
States.
and half and half is something that you put in your coffee, Felix. Come on, cut it out.
No, yeah, half and half.
No. He's a United States citizen.
Okay, hold on. Damn
100%.
cow. Sorry about that. Sorry.
Huh?
Okay, go on.
He's 100% a United States citizen. Can you repeat that?
Fine. I just said fine. I'm not gonna say the whole thing.
No. Say it. I don't care where you're at. If you're on a bus right now, Felix, just say it out loud.
I'm not on
Obama
the bus
is
yet.
100%. Am I on speakerphone, Felix? Am I on speakerphone?
No, you're on the microphone thing.
Oh, you got headphones in?
No, It's
Oh,
I had to you have to be on speakerphone to do it
okay.
to
Can you
talk to
turn me
you.
on speakerphone?
Wait, hold on.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is on speakerphone.
Okay, so people can hear me talking, right?
No, there's nobody around me right now. There's only
Oh,
people in
oh,
the cars.
oh. Okay, I wanted you to make sure you get around the people
Yeah.
that you can. But I'm going to say this loud and clear, Felix, and I want you to repeat after me. President Obama.
Okay, fine. He was born in the United States. Okay.
No, no, no. But
Yeah.
but but let's continue this because this is the path forward. You want to be a Democrat? I'm trying to help you. All right.
No, I'm
So
not gonna be a Democrat. Who said I would get? I'm changing from Democrat to Republican. I'm
no,
sorry.
you
No
you
way.
already voted Democrat.
Yeah, I did, but I'm changing to Republican now.
That's not going to
That
happen.
does not change my mind. No way.
That's not going to happen.
Okay. No way.
Okay.
Okay.
There's somebody that wants to talk to you, Felix, a good friend of mine, Italo.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I usually don't jump into political talk, but this sounds familiar because my parents are Peruvian, right?
That's right.
However,
Herbert.
I was born in California. So what does that make me?
Felix.
It makes you American citizen. Okay. Okay. I'm not gonna argue about that. Okay. Obama was he's
So
an
how
American
come how
citizen.
come
I said it. Okay. Okay. I said he's an American citizen. Okay. We're
Don't
done with
Felix.
that thing.
Felix. Don't
but no
try to backpedal now. This is time for you to take accountability time. I didn't ask you to put a request in my box. You did that.
Okay.
So let's finish the lesson. Now, Italo, please continue. This is a very important lesson.
well, okay, so being basically Latino or Hispanic, whatever,
Yes.
they would make me believe that I wasn't fully um, an American citizen, right? For a long time,
Shame.
I always
Shame.
thought I was an outcast. I thought I was an oddball. Like, okay, so you're not really a citizen, right? So
Mm.
you were not, your parents or your ancestors were not, you
Sad.
know, here in the United States, so you technically are not American. For a long time, I believed that. For a long time,
Mm.
I believed I wasn't worthy of being called American.
Wow.
And the more I grew up, I'm like, I am American.
He's right. You're an American.
More than the Europeans,
Yeah.
more than anybody. So if you're gonna say if you're born from English parents, right? But you happen to be born in America, you're not half and half. You're an American because you were
Thank
born
you.
in America.
Thank you.
Regardless of who your
Thank
ancestors
you.
were, you can be from, your parents can be from Kenya, from China, from Russia, from whatever.
Hmm.
But if you're born in American soil, that's what determines your nationality, in my opinion.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. You hear that, Felix?
Yes.
So
Okay.
you agree, Felix, that if you're born in the United States, you're an American?
E- Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna say yeah. Okay.
No, 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 no. I don't want you to just say okay for saying it.
What do you
Is
want me
it
to say? What do
true?
you want me to say? That
Well,
Obama
what?
is 100% American. Okay. Is that
Yes.
better?
Yes.
There. Does that feel better?
No. Yeah. Okay. Fine. That's one true thing. Okay. That's all.
Good morning, April.
That's all. One true
Well,
thing.
what was the argument you were gonna make a
Wow.
point, Felix?
Wow, Felix. Like seriously, I'm concerned.
I'm just saying I'm no argument. Okay. I can't argue about it. I can't.
Thank you for those Zeus hands. Yes, we got one today. So, Felix, I got the list of all of the conspiracies that Donald Trump has been a part of. And you know what? The one about Obama's birth was the first one. Okay.
Yeah.
And
But you're not lying about anything else.
and this is 10 pages of conspiracies. Okay. So we got stuck on the first one, and I'm concerned that if I go any deeper in this list, we're going to have a lot of work to do with you.
Oh wow, well it's not gonna change my thoughts. I'm gonna stay with the Republican. Okay, I voted for Obama when my mom was alive, okay? Let me tell you. I was not looking at the facts, okay? I was not looking at the inflation, okay? Everybody said he raised the inflation, okay? I was not paying attention to inflation. I just voted, okay? Now I'm voting for real because I'm living on my own with my wife, okay? So now I know that Democrats are going to raise the inflation.
Democrats are what?
I'll get to always raise the inflation.
Let me double
Okay?
check that. Let me hold on. Now, where'd you get that from? Hold on. I got
It's the
Obama.
truth.
I
They're
got
going to raise the
Hillary and Bill
inflation.
Clinton. I got Ted Cruz. I got Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Joe Scarborough. I got Deep State, Antifa, Russia, voter fraud, claims of corruption, science, nope. Amplifying threat of immigrants, claims of no. You know what? Felix? I don't have anything about Trump promoting that one. So where did you get that from?
I
Yeah, I
know
don't have
for a
that.
fact. Okay,
Huh?
they always raise taxes. Okay, we already know they raise taxes. Okay,
Mm,
we already know
mm.
they raise taxes.
Felix, you know what I'm going to have to ask you to do? I'm
Yeah,
going to
I
have
know.
to ask.
Research it. Research it. I know.
No, no,
I
no,
know.
no, no. I wasn't even going to. I wasn't going to say you're wrong or right. I'm saying I don't have that here on my list of conspiracies. So can you please cite your source?
I know. Joe did it. Okay, and everybody says that Obama raised the prices. Okay, now before that,
Obama
um,
raised the prices.
yeah, he had the prices raised. I bet. I was not paying attention. Okay, I just voted when it came to that. My mom was alive. Okay, I'm living on my own now with my wife. Okay, so it affects me. Okay,
Mm.
now it didn't
But
affect me before because my mom was alive. Okay, I didn't really care because I was not paying rent. I was not paying food. I was not paying this. I was not paying that. Okay,
Felix, I'm
but now I
concerned
know the
that.
facts that
Mm.
I'm voting for Republican because of the prices and stuff.
Oh, we
Okay,
have
I don't
other
like the
people.
prices. Do you like paying more than you should be paying? Do you?
Felix, I'm a person that I like to be mindful of what I spend my money on. Okay, and unfortunately, I'm concerned that the information you're sharing isn't true. It sounds to me like you've been in too many other lives on TikTok. Okay,
No, 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 no.
and I'm going to ask that you stay out of those lives.
No, 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 no.
Felix, do you think Zeus would lie to you?
Oh,
Yeah, about
let's not
everything
talk
else.
about
Yes,
Zeus.
about everything else.
No, no, no. Honestly, Felix, I just helped you understand that Obama is an American citizen.
Yeah, that's only one thing. That's only one thing. You're not gonna understand for everything else. No,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay. Now, when it comes to inflation, it's a lot more complicated than just Biden or Obama being the
No,
president.
it's not just Biden. It's
And
the
aren't the price of your
Democrats.
eggs going down?
No, no, other food is up
No,
still.
no, no, no,
Other
no. Those
food.
egg prices are going down. Those
Okay, you let me tell
gasoline
you, my
prices
wife
are
is on
going
food
down.
stamps. My wife is on food stamps. I can't get food stamps because I'm working
Well,
part
well,
time.
well, well.
Okay.
If you're receiving food stamps, you should be
No, she
thinking.
gets food stamps, 200 and something dollars. Not even enough to survive for two people. They don't know that they don't know that she's using it for me too.
What?
They don't
Felix,
know
Felix,
because we're
what
not
if you?
we're not legally
Okay.
married. Okay, we're not legally married.
Okay. All right, Felix. If they
Being
didn't
personal.
know, now they know. Okay, and I think it's time for me to move on to our next guest. Okay,
No,
Felix.
I gotta tell you one more thing. Okay, what happened yesterday?
What are you talking about?
You know, Sacramento took down the Golden State and made a game.
All right. So that's how you end up getting the boot in the box. Ladies and gentlemen, please do not get into this live
Okay,
and start.
I'm gonna come down, Sus, because I just wanted to come and make a point.
Okay.
I think we got that one, so I'll be in the comments.
Thank you, Italo. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
It's very brave of you to get into this box, by the way. Are you
Yeah,
know?
I don't get into arguments, but
Yeah.
I thought I could speak on that since
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am an American.
That's right. That's right. You are an American, especially if you are born here in the United States. Okay, and this first conspiracy about Barack Obama
Even the fact that I was conceived in a different country,
doesn't matter.
it
It
does not
doesn't.
matter.
No.
Right.
Sad that we have to have this kind of conversation in 2023.
Yeah,
Shame. All right.
exactly. That's
Thank
right,
you.
Sus.
Thank you so much for sharing that perspective, ladies and gentlemen. We are talking about all of Donald J. Trump's conspiracy theories, okay? This is why, people get on TikTok and they say Biden doesn't tell the truth. Newsflash, Biden does tell the truth a lot more than Donald Trump, okay? I'm still waiting on somebody to clear up this stuff about Hillary and Bill Clinton. There's at least the unaliving of Seth Rich. Vince Foster. Epstein did not unalive himself. Clinton body count conspiracy theory. This is nonsense, ladies and gentlemen. This is nonsense at the highest level, and Zeus is here to combat it. Okay, brother Anthony, greetings.
Greetings, Zeus. How
Hey,
you
how are
doing
you?
this fine morning up there on Olympus?
I'm doing just fine. I got an excellent day of R&R planned after this live. Okay. And I wanted to get out here because I've been hearing things on social media about President Biden is a liar and that Donald Trump tells the truth. And so there's a list of conspiracy theories out here, and I'm trying to help people understand that Trump pushed that are not true. The first one is President Barack Obama's birth.
None of the things that Donald Trump has said in the last 8 years. You can go back. My fault, Zeus. Don't do that. You can go back to when Obama first started running, and Donald Trump got the little crawl up his booty to
Hmm.
go after the first black president.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
nothing that he said, nothing that he's told these people, nothing that he's promised these people. Have he been able to deliver on?
No. Would you go as far, brother Anthony, as to say, they like to suggest that President Biden is, the R word because of his remarks on the Breakfast Club and 94 Crime Bill, amongst other things, right? Would you go as far as to suggest that if you were to, go back and revisit uh, Trump's lie that Obama wasn't born in the United States, would you say that that was done uh, based on his, that R word? Would you say it was the R word?
You know what, Zeus? I really don't even get into the back and forth whether Joe Biden is racist or Donald Trump is racist, because it's a personal thing.
Mm,
You can have all the personal feelings and personal beliefs that you want.
fair enough.
The problem that I had was that none of the racists think that Joe Biden is racist. None of the Confederates in this country think that Joe Biden is racist.
Oh,
Um, it To be honest, if there were a divide between the races, between the two parties, then I might would consider Joe Biden racist. But when 100% of the racists in this country voted for Donald Trump, then Joe Biden's personal racism really doesn't affect me.
mm, uh, mm, mm, I mean,
Yeah, hey,
if you're telling the truth, it's kind of hard to argue with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just sitting here listening. Listen up. Do you think that race was a factor in why Trump pushed this theory, though?
I think that Trump is a great brander. He is, if he's nothing else, he's a great brander. He's always been that. He's always been a great salesman. He knew that these people were ready to be sold a product, and he sold it to them. Like I said, it doesn't matter about how he feels personally. He knew who he was catering to. He knew who the people that he put beside him in places that they could be seen were known race. They were known races. So of course the people that follow those known races, whether Trump is a racist or not, were gonna follow the races they knew.
Do you think what was I going to say? They say Obama was the great divider. Do you think that about him?
I think Obama was the great truth. And when I say that, I'm saying it as the moment that man was elected, there was a section of this country that no matter what he did, no matter what he accomplished, we're going to hate him just because of the color of his skin. 8 years later, we get Donald Trump, and as a result of those people being so loud while Obama was in office. So when I say that, I'm saying that if the ground is the GOP, if the seed was the Tea Party, then your flower was MAGA.
Oh, it's interesting that you said that, because I was watching a clip. You remember when Obama and McCain were, going at it in terms of their campaigns, and there was this woman who got up while McCain was talking and said something along the lines about Obama was a Muslim, right? Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And McCain took the microphone back and said, "No, no, ma'am."
Yeah.
He's
I remember
American
that.
just like me. We just happen to disagree politically. Remember this scene. I would argue that moment in time was the first time we got to see a Trump supporter, right?
Yes. That was the moment. That was the moment that you had to divide with decent Republicans and what produced the MAGA party. If you notice that John McCain was one of the first people that Donald Trump attacked, and he attacked him. If you think about it, he was attacked because Donald Trump made it seem like he lost because of his civility. And all the people that were willing to follow Donald Trump into destroying what civility this country had built up in the last 200 years,
right.
We found out that it was more people willing to go that route than we ever thought. People that we grew up with,
we didn't know.
Yeah, playing sports with. We grew up, dating each other's siblings. As soon as Donald Trump came, they handed their children Confederate flags.
Wow. So it was okay. It was okay to be open and honest about how you felt about Obama because of his skin color, or is what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Definitely. Well, I'm gonna say this. Maybe so much not that Obama's skin color was the problem, as much as Donald Trump promised to give white men back their country.
Now, doesn't that sound a bit disturbing? Giving back white men their country, was it ever theirs? Swerving.
That's what I say. That's why I tell people that conservatism, they've made conservatism pretty by telling black men that conservatism is about traditional families and God, and they made conservatism pretty. But the fact is, conservatism is conserving stolen land that was given and passed down from grandfather to grandchild to keep white. It was to be kept white. That's what conservatism is. And all these people that walk around and look like you and I, that
Right.
call themselves conservatives, have no idea that they've been tricked into believing that conservatism is about traditional family, when those very conservatives never allowed you to have a traditional family. We've
Shame.
never had traditional families in this country, but
Mm.
they painted a picture and told you that God, cares about, this country as a singular, thing. They told
I would argue that most of them who brand themselves as Christians, they don't really read the Bible.
no, man, no, most man, I would tell you that 80% of the conservatives that get up here and tell us what we don't know don't even read chapter books.
Nope. They
That's
can't
one of
give
the
me a
first questions I ask.
they can't give me a Bible chapter and verse, good morning, Swervin, that actually allows them to show their allegiance the way they do to Donald J. Trump. Okay, they can't.
Facts.
They chant Mike Pence is a traitor. They chant hang Mike Pence, but yet they get on here and then they tell us that they follow Jesus.
They follow Jesus, and at the same time they're making it legal for grown men to marry 12-year-olds. Hey Zeus, I'm gonna get up out of here because I know you got a lot of people down there. I'm gonna give my one spiel and I'm gonna get up out of here.
All right, I appreciate you coming into the closet of truth with me on a Saturday, Brother Anthony. Ladies and gentlemen, please give Brother Anthony a round of applause.
Let
Okay,
me get 1 second though to get his spiel, and I'm gonna get up out of here. It's my same spiel.
okay, buckle up.
MAGA is the Confederacy, and until we treat them as such, we're bound to repeat this.
Mm,
We cannot compromise like we did in the 1800s. We have to hold everybody that was responsible for MAGA accountable. We have to lock those people up to show their supporters that we're never going back through this.
mm.
Again, MAGA is the Confederacy. Zeus, I'm out.
All right, Brother Anthony. Wow. Does anyone agree with what Brother Anthony said? Does anyone disagree with what Brother Anthony said? Is MAGA the Confederacy? What does MAGA represent the Republican Party? Does the Republican Party represent MAGA? Is there a difference? I don't know. It seems to me every time I check in with MAGA, they're getting upset with Democrats. And you know what their number one thing is right now? Oh, President Biden called us names. And I go to the MAGA group and I go, don't you call the Democrats names like Democrat, radical left, Biden regime? How can you sit back? It's like the pot calling the kettle black. You know what Trump does. You know, look, I got 10 pages of things he said, lies, misinformation he's promoted. And you get out here and you start playing like you're a victim. They call us snowflake. I mean, come on, you can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. You really can't. Oh, now I have my good friend April. By the way, April has some of the most awesome lives on TikTok. You should totally follow April and check them out. Good morning, April. How are you?
Good morning, Zeus, and thank you for that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement with Anthony. MAGA is the new Confederacy. Point blank. That's all it is. I
Wow.
totally agree with him.
What?
And for all the conspiracy stuff that you've brought up,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous that people can't see what Trump did from the very beginning, starting with the conspiracy to put 5 young black gentlemen and want them
Uh-oh.
unalived for something they didn't do.
Mm, somebody in the comments section said, could you explain why MAGA is the Confederacy, if that's possible?
For
You might
me,
have to get Anthony to come back up if you don't feel comfortable doing it, you know.
oh, Anthony can come back up and join me. Anyone can.
Okay.
But to me, the rhetoric that I hear coming from people that claim to be MAGA, and if you talk to them long enough, you get the real person out. And I've done a lot of talking with different sides, both sides,
Yeah, your lives are like thousands and thousands of people. I don't know how you do it.
It might be just a Southern thing. They just might think I go along with them,
You got a lot of patience, that's for sure.
But it's a problem where I'm from here in North Carolina. When you see a Trump flag, it's more than likely you're going to see a Confederate flag flying right next to it.
Oh, so they do it to themselves. Wow.
Yeah, I mean they're calling themselves out, and when you push this, and the people that are MAGA, support the things that Trump has said. It's how can you not be racist and support Trump?
Is it possible for you to be a Trump supporter and not be racist? That's a good question.
I don't think so. What do you think, Anthony?
I'm in North Carolina too, April. And like I was saying earlier, the same people that we grew up with, the same people that we played ball with, the same people that we thought we knocked down all the doors, and had made some progress in this country. In 2016, all of a sudden, handed their children Confederate flags. I have seen more Confederate flags in this state in the last 7 years than I've
It's
seen in my
horrible,
life.
isn't it? It's horrible. People that don't live down here doesn't understand what we're seeing, Anthony.
Wow.
I've seen more Confederate flags than I've seen in my life in the last 7 years. And this is all around, and she can contest to this.
Wow.
The whole time we were growing up, we knew a lot of their parents were racist. They knew a lot of their parents were racist. But we kicked down doors and we made bonds. All of a sudden, to turn around, these same people kick us in our nuts.
Exactly.
They ask, how do I compare MAGA to the Confederacy?
Right. Someone said, can you explain how MAGA is the Confederate? And then, ladies and gentlemen, before we go further, the reason we're here right now is not because we wanted to talk about racism today. We're here because Trump's first conspiracy is about President Barack Obama not being born in the United States. You see where it got us. Now, Anthony, please continue, brother.
They have the same policies. Their policies are to stop people from voting. Their policies are to make people feel like they're not humans. You have policies such as trying to get back to states' rights. When states' rights, we know what states' rights mean. It means to have the right to discriminate against any certain people that state chooses to denigrate. So go ahead.
No. I think it's safe to say that you're unpacking why MAGA does seem to come across as representing the Confederate.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever seen a MAGA rally that didn't possess or have Confederate flags flying everywhere? And like she said, when you see the American flag here, chances are 60% of the time, I'm not going to say all the time, you're going to see the Trump flag, Confederate flag, or all the above.
Yep. It's really bad here, Zeus. It's in North Carolina, and especially right now, it's a scary time because of the switch that Teresa.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I got a phone call.
Do you need to?
What she was saying why she did that phone? Oh, go ahead. I thought you was going.
It's a scary time because of Teresa Cawthorn, switching parties on us. And then that gave the House a super majority. So it doesn't even matter that we have a Democrat governor. They're pushing laws now. They've got all kinds of bills lined up, and they're just going to start passing them left and right.
Mm,
And it's scary.
mm. So did that clear it up for you out there who were concerned about why MAGA and the Confederates seem to be aligned? I think I get it. I don't live in North Carolina. I have family members there, and you know what's so sad is that they are Trump supporters. Okay, it's the most bizarre thing. But I think of it as this: if I lived in a state like that with all of that going on, it would be tough. It would be tough.
But
Yeah.
there are Trump. I worked with several black people that said their parents had voted for Trump, and it was because of Hillary being a woman the first
Yeah.
time.
That's
So
a fact.
yep, they
Oh
didn't want.
my gosh!
Yes, they didn't because Hillary was a woman, and that's why, even though they didn't stand for everything Trump did and know how bad Trump
They
is,
knew he was the devil.
and they still
Christians, man.
voted for him.
Christians. Backwood Christians, man.
That's it, the
I
backwood Christian.
You can't make this stuff up, folks. You really can't. So you abandon your faith and you do and act like vote for a person who we all see now is a clear criminal. And you
And,
and
and
you can still go to church every Sunday and praise God?
Zeus, the scary part is, this is the scary part.
Wow.
If we had it to do all over again, I think the majority of them would vote the same way again.
I do too.
Oh, they haven't learned their lesson.
Even with everything that's come out, they would still vote the same way. That's what's scary. I mean, it's scary. These people, and I had several. Anthony was part of it. I mean, it's wild, the conspiracies and shit. But just
Oh,
ask yourself. I'm sorry, Zeus. Sometimes it slips out.
got
I'm
it. I
sorry.
got it. Queen.
I will. But in my life, it's amazing. Now, people's got to ask themselves, did Trump try to backtrack on Biden and to see if he was actually born in America?
Nope.
That's a
Because
good
he's a
point.
white man.
Yep.
Oh, so you don't want to talk about Biden and where he's born at because Biden has the complexion for the
For the
protection.
protection. Come on, Zeus.
And
Nasty.
even with Hillary, he never brought up where's Hillary from? Where was
Fact.
she born at?
Mm, mm,
But
mm,
what's the first thing he does?
mm.
So
Fact.
You
it's
know,
just
I'm starting to have my concerns about the MAGA people. Okay, do you think all MAGA believe this, or is it just a certain group of MAGA that believe this?
I think it's all MAGA.
I think that you have different fashions of it. I think the majority believe it. I think it's a small minority that's profiting off of it,
Mm.
and I think that it's a smaller minority um that's just so uneducated that it's just who they're around.
Mm. Mm. This
We
is this.
spoke to people last night. Anthony was there. We spoke to people last night, and Swervin was there. That did not know that Puerto Rico is part of the United States.
They
So
did.
that's the people that follow Trump.
Yeah,
They're just so uninformed. They, you know,
Wow.
it was
Wow.
wild, wasn't it, Anthony?
yeah.
Wow. This is alarming at so many levels. Now there are some others that I'm going to bring up. Let's see.
I'm cooking salmon patties. If you need to drop me, you can just drop
No,
me.
no, no. I believe y'all know how to obey the rules in the kingdom, so I'm not too concerned. Let's bring up who is it? Herbert. He was here. I saw him earlier. He might have something to say. And then I'm looking for somebody that doesn't agree with us, obviously. Donnie Brooks. All right. I don't think Donnie agrees with me, but greetings, Herbert. Greetings, Donnie. How are you?
All right. Good this morning. Good this morning.
All right.
I'm
Well,
good, and yourself?
I'm doing all right. It's another day in the kingdom. We're trying to get to the bottom of these conspiracy theories that Trump has been pushing. I'm only at the first one about Barack Obama, and as we can see, it's definitely racial.
Oh, without question.
Mm. So what do you have to contribute towards this in terms of we're trying to get clarification? Is MAGA a part of the Confederate? Are they promoting racism or not?
So Mega is just a rebranding of the old Confederate ideology. They've done this a number of times though. So they hid under the moniker of the neoconservatives. They've hid under the moniker of the Tea Party. Now they're hiding under the moniker of MAGA. Anybody, this is just simple. If you are not a racist, right, you have to ask yourself, how is it possible that all of these racist groups that and these white nationalists and white supremacist groups that followed him around on his campaign trail, what can they possibly have in common with you to where you would have support for the same candidate? Because the ideology has to be diametrically opposing to one another. So there's no way you can share any common ground to something or some ideology that's opposed to what you believe. And yet you have the same candidate. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I can't make it make sense if things don't make sense. So thank you, Brother Donnie. You pointed out a good point. It doesn't make any sense.
And they have picked their squad and they're going to stick with it. But let me give you this prophecy, ironic prophecy. Obama is almost like a slap in the face to this country because he's a real, almost like I forget how you say the word, but he's standing in opposition to everything this country had. You know, Carolyn Bryant, she passed, right?
I heard about this.
10 toes down and a quick trip down the elevator. Back in the day, and I grew up, I tell people, I grew up in the day when you had to keep your head down when you pass certain people on the sidewalk. Obama is a product of an African father and a white European mother. Two people that should never have had any relationship at all. And where does he end up at? The number one job. If there is a God, he sure got a funny sense of humor. He brought it right back. It's almost like prophecy. Where people that you better not catch, because my brother came to Louisiana in 1963 with a European woman from Ohio, and boy, the clan, they burnt a cross in the yard. They had to leave right away. They come down with all that money, and I was eating ice cream and cookies every day, and the people run my good thing off. And then two, I'm gonna say this, and I know you got a lot of guests.
Yeah.
The folks who ain't profiting or benefiting from this is the ones who seem to be going against their best interest. Because the young man just admitted on your live that he committed a felony. If his wife is getting food stamps under the pretense that he's not there, he just admitted to a felony. And he want to talk about a man who's made his money the honest way, where he went to school and pulled himself up by his bootstraps and went to the Harvard. He was president of the Harvard law stuff and became president. But you on food stamp talking about somebody who done walked through the jungle and made it? Wow. But that's how they do. They go. The mega is willing to do their to cut the shorten their own legs to say that they in the crowd. Yeah, he admitted to a felony just now.
I don't know about that. I hope no one's breaking the law out here on TikTok.
Well, he says his wife getting them, and and they ain't. So that mean they're using two different names. So if that was us, we'd be locked up. They done got no patience for us with that. They want to call welfare queens and food stamp fathers and all that stuff like that. And I can't get them. I can't get them because I get like maybe about $100 too much for my
Mm.
retirement and my Social Security. I get a little bit too much, and I got a little money underneath the table that they kind of know about another retirement. And I better not look at the food stamp office. They would charge me with fraud,
Mm.
you
Don't be
know.
out
But
there committing fraud out there, ladies and gentlemen. That's not what this
before,
country is about.
but I
Uh,
want you to tell your partner Snuggles to get him a defibrillator and a tank of that oxygen, because when they do Trump like they getting ready to do him, he gonna need somebody to shock him back into reality and to breathe some life back into him. Tell him don't go too far. You can drop me, Zeus. They got some other people coming. Hey, Anthony, April, I love y'all.
all
You too,
right,
Herbert.
all right. I'm
All
gonna
right.
bring up two
You know, I
more.
love you.
I wanted to say real quick what everybody's pointing out and what Herbert just said, that MAGA is the revenge of Obama.
Oh,
That's what started it all. We can't have this anymore.
mm,
MAGA is the product of Obama.
mm. Now we got
No,
more people.
MAGA MAGA is not the product of Obama. Donald Trump was the product of Obama, but MAGA has existed under different labels prior to that. That
Yeah,
ideology has not changed.
yeah. I'm starting to get convinced. I'm starting to get convinced. Unless there's someone out there in the MAGA world that can help clear this up. Now, April, Anthony, and Di, I'm gonna have to cycle the boxes. All right.
Yeah, love you, Zeus.
Love you as well, okay, because Zeus has to run, but I want to hear from
Okay.
all people that I can before I get up out here. I may have to summon you back, though, if there are people bringing up stuff that I feel you may be more knowledgeable about. All right.
All
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this going. All right. All right. Uh-huh. All right. Uh Miriam, how you pronounce
If
your
you
name?
say Mandy, Mandy's fine.
Mandy. All right,
And
Mandy.
we've
How
talked
are you?
before.
Okay.
I just had one thing to say. Do you have like a computer in front of you that you can look up something so you don't think that I'm misinforming
No,
you?
I don't have one. Not in the closet of truth.
Okay, well, I was
Usually
just
when
going to
I'm at
say,
the.
did you hear the other day that the rapper from the band, the Refugees, the rapper, he has been detained, arrested for funneling money to the Obama campaign to affect the U.S. elections and something to do with China. But you have to look it up. Somebody in the comments, look it up right now. This happened like 3 days ago. It's the rapper from the
What?
Refugees, and he was charged with funneling money to the Obama campaign in 2012.
Well,
Just,
okay. So if he's
it looks
if
like
he's
you have a
truly
computer screen.
if he's
You don't have a
truly
computer screen?
if he's true, I don't have one over here. Nope. Uh, if he's truly guilty, what are you suggesting?
Oh, that Obama was funneling money through rappers
Oh,
for his campaign. He was
why
caught.
rappers? Why not country singers?
Honey, I
Country?
don't know. That's just what Obama chose. It
No,
wasn't
no,
me.
no. See.
You
Okay.
won't look it up. Just
No,
look it
no.
up.
I can't listen. I have a list of conspiracies, okay? Right
Okay.
here. You see it. And that one isn't on the list.
So you don't want to talk about it
I,
because it's not on the list?
no, I'm going to look into it, but my concern is how is that relevant to today's issues?
Well, I
Okay.
didn't see your list of issues. All I seen was a picture of Obama, and the first thing that come to mind
And,
was
and,
the
and you know
funneling
what? I gotta
through.
say something about that conspiracy about the money being
It's not a conspiracy. It's
it's
all over
not
the
true.
news. Just look it
It's
up.
I've been watching the news and none of this has
It
came out. This is what I'm concerned about. Obama's presidency, it's
wasn't
over.
on Fox News. I hate Fox News, CNN, all of them. I don't watch any of that crap.
When did you stop hating? When did you start hating Fox News?
I have never listened to the mainstream media. Maybe like when I voted for Obama in 2008, when I voted for Obama, maybe
Okay.
then. And I didn't vote for him the second time. And then I didn't vote for Trump in 2016. So I was on you guys' side for a long time.
Oh,
And I
is it
just started doing my own research, started looking into Trump a little bit more. And I just started finding things that the news
okay?
wasn't
Swervin
telling.
said he found it. Swervin, is that something you can come in the box and help us get a
Yeah,
clarif?
help me.
Swervin said he found it. Okay. You might get some points for this. Oh, we got Poker Dad here. Okay, okay. Oh, guess Poker Dad's not here. Okay, Swerving, you're here.
Hey, first of all, good morning to you, Zeus. Always a
Good.
pleasure to be in the kingdom, and especially on a Saturday. This is weird. I mean, am I in the twilight zone right now?
It was an emergency closet of truth session because I found the list of Donald Trump conspiracies, and the people get out here and they say Biden lies all the time, Trump doesn't lie, and so I'm like, well, somebody help me make sense out of all of these conspiracies. So it was an emergency thing. Thank you, heaven. Now you said you found this new
Yeah.
information.
So
Bring me
here's
Poker Dad.
here's the long and short of it. Okay, first of all, the person involved is from the Fugees, not the refugees.
Exactly.
Prakarzai Prass Michael. His stage name was Prass, right?
Okay.
So here's the long and short of it. He was accused of funneling money from a now fugitive Malaysian financier, Low Teek Joe. Low Teek Joe. J-H-O. Through straw donors to Barack Obama's 2012 re-election campaign. Then trying to squelch a Justice Department investigation and influence an extradition case on behalf of China under the Trump administration. So it looks like he tried doing dirt for both of them.
Oh.
It wouldn't surprise me. They're all corrupt. I mean, the government is corrupt. I mean, I don't know what else I can say.
But you said you voted for Donald Trump. Isn't he corrupt?
I also voted for Barack Obama. So my mind has definitely changed over the years. I mean, I just seen that article. I'm glad that you could explain it a little bit better, but that's all I wanted to come on and ask is if anybody heard that.
Well, and the other key thing that I think we're missing out on is if you
And
look at
sorry
the
for
full.
saying the Fugees name. I don't know why I
No
said it
problem.
like that.
That's
Yeah.
correct. No,
So
I just wanted to be clear. That's all.
the other part of this as well is the full amount of what was funneled through these elections. 800,000 of it was to Obama's.
Yeah.
The mass majority of the money came through was through other types. 800,000 went through Obama's.
Right.
This is just another.
I just don't understand why it's not being talked about. If it was Trump, it would be front page everywhere. If they found out that,
But it is Trump too.
No, well, I didn't hear that part. I'll have to go look into that. I mean, I believe what you're saying, but
There's different monies that are being funneled in through these systems.
Oh.
I mean, that's kind of crazy. Would y'all have ever thought that they would try to funnel things through musicians and rappers and things? That's just off the wall. I just thought it was a weird story.
It's not the fact that he's a rapper or musician. It has to do with the fact that the relationships were there to transfer such monies.
I'm just saying,
He's much more than just an entertainer.
Absolutely.
And let's be real. I gotta agree with Poker Dad on this one. When you have people out there, like think of the influence someone like LeBron James could have and put money in certain people's hands, simply because he's a glorified basketball player, the highest paid. He checks off all the marks of a star athlete, basketball, NBA championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think of the influence he could peddle off of simply using his name. And when these people end up in touch with other people, look how many famous people got in bed with Bernie Madoff.
Yeah.
And then
We're all being played.
Crime does not discriminate is kind of what I'm hearing.
And that's actually the point that I wanted to bring up in this situation too. Because I understand the point of what you're saying, where MAGA is basically the foundation of came from Confederacy.
That's what I heard earlier.
I want you to think about this, right? So the idea of the Confederacy, and I'm not sticking up for MAGA, please. So you know that this is a completely different world. During the time of Confederacy, historically, right, they were the Southern elite. You had to own property. You had to have things on record of ownership. You were only recognized even as a man if you owned those things. That was the Confederacy, and they were trying to protect so-called what they had, right? That was a different battle. Now, as time went on, now we're looking at a situation where, and you've heard me say this before, The MAGA supporters are not Republican supporters.
Oh. Oh.
They are a figurehead support to Donald Trump.
Mm.
They may have come partly from the Tea Party, right? But the fact of the matter is you have Democratic-sided people that jumped on board with Donald Trump and became Republican because of the MAGA group.
Okay.
So I like the fact that we're separating the two in this conversation. MAGA and the Republican Party is two different things. It just so happens that there is a dominant control from the MAGA side of the split right now. So I don't ever want to make it to the point of where we're saying Republicans and MAGA are the same thing. We are not.
I don't know,
And
Poker. You sound a little like MAGA to me. No, I'm kidding.
Consider
no,
myself.
you know dang well I'm not a MAGA swerving. Don't even
I
give
know
me
you're
that.
not, dude. I know I'm fucking with.
It sounds like you're talking about splitting the Red Sea, perhaps.
No,
Poker?
basically,
100% splitting the Red Sea.
let me give you let me see if I can help you out with a quick example. What Poker Dad's talking about here, because he's absolutely right. We have the extreme MAGA side of the Republican Party. And if you take the extreme MAGA side of the Republican Party, here's why you can't say the whole Republican Party is MAGA. If it was, how would you account for Adam Kinzinger or Liz Cheney?
Oh.
Yes.
Or Asa Hutchinson?
Oh.
They don't want anything to do with MAGA. And and I think we also need to, if you make the contrast from Democrats who went over and became Republican because of MAGA, you also had Republicans that became Democrats or independents because of MAGA. They have pulled a lot of people in, but they have also driven a lot of people out. And the Republican Party, until they can turn this page on making America great again, which America was never great for every citizen in this country.
Facts.
And right now, it certainly isn't great, especially for women and our LGBTQI plus community. Until they can turn the corner on this whole MAGA thing, the Republican Party is going to remain fractured. And I will bring up Nikki Haley, because when Nikki Haley made her opening speech, when she said she was running for president, she said clearly, we need a change in this party because Republicans have lost the popular vote 7 times out of the last 8 elections. And she was right. Something in that Republican Party needs to change.
Something does, really.
And this is the sad part, right? And this is coming, obviously, this is coming from a Republican-minded perspective, right? I'm not saying it's 100% right or wrong or whatever it may be. But economically, from a Republican perspective, the only way we're going to fix our party is if A, Trump doesn't get to go in there for another 4 years to destroy the social conscience of our country, which means 2028 we'll have no shot, which means 2028 are economically on for what our values are is going to be destroyed from 2028 to 2032. It's going to be 2032 to 2036 by the time we fix the economic issues of this country if we allow Trump back in office again.
Wow.
I would agree with that statement.
Get him out of here.
And you got to think, when you just put the numbers together, Donald Trump, he won the presidency in 2016, but he lost the popular vote by 3 million. This time around in 2020, he lost the popular vote by over 7 million. So, I mean, you're down 10 million votes. And the Republican Party throughout this country, especially the extreme side of the party, the extremists, who keep writing laws against women's healthcare choices, women's rights, the LGBTQI plus community healthcare choices, taking away parental rights when it comes to someone making sure that their transgendered child has the proper psychological care that they need, the proper medical care that they need. Nope, that is not a parental right. That is for the government to decide. But everybody else, I don't want my child reading that book, and that's your parental right. So we're going to ban that book. And people are listening. People are watching.
People are saying you're lying, Swervin.
I'm lying about what?
Yeah, what is he lying about?
Probably the election. They've estimated that by the time 2024 election rolls around, we could be looking at somewhere between 7.5 to 8 million Gen Zers who will be coming of voting age. And they are watching all of this stuff.
Facts.
They've also estimated that, let's just say it's 8 million. 25% of that 8 million will vote Republican. And these are just estimates off of other data that was looked at, right?
I've read similar data.
So the thing is, if Gen Z is going to be the future of the Republican Party, then the Republicans now have to stop ostracizing Gen Z. You can't go to a college and tell the college, hey, we don't want you teaching this anymore. No, that's a public university, and it's funded by kids' tuition. How many kids do you think are going to drop out of that college when they discover that a certain course on their agenda, on their track for their degree, is no longer available to them? You know, this is what they have to stop ostracizing the youth in this country. And they have to stop ostracizing women. We saw what happened in South Carolina and Nebraska. Those women put on filibusters for days. And these were Republicans. These were Republican women.
Real Republicans.
Real, not MAGA, real Republicans who crossed the aisle and voted with Democrats to keep the state's abortion rights in place.
Thank you.
And I can say like this.
Conspiracies.
I'm sorry. Go ahead,
I'm so
Mandy.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, what was your list that you were debating on? You said you had a list of conspiracies. I was just wanting to know what your other conspiracies was, so I can.
Well, there's two sides to Obama, but I'm fine with this conversation. You know, we'll die. I don't think we'll be able to go through all of them, right? We have the support for ISIS. We have Hillary and Bill Clinton. You know, Epstein, Vince Foster, Seth Witch. We have Ted Cruz. We have Joe Biden. Kamala Harris. There's a lot of conspiracies out here. So when they get out here and they tell you, you know, Trump doesn't lie and Biden does, I want to remind them of all of this. And what's so fascinating is the list starts with Barack Obama. And look at us. We're having to have this conversation about race all over again. We're still having people out here that think Obama was born in Kenya and he's not an American.
He's getting ready to move back there, I hear. Have you guys heard that?
That is not true.
I read an article. Why are you just laughing?
Why are you laughing?
I'm not a rude
I'm not saying that to be
person, y'all. I'm just trying
disrespectful,
to
Mandy.
see.
I promise. I couldn't hold it in. I'm sorry. I should have muted.
I read an article that said that is all, and I was just asking, y'all don't have to be disrespectful. I'm not a disrespectful person. I just couldn't talk.
My point wasn't to be disrespectful, Mandy. I assure you of that.
That's fine.
But Mandy, to be fair, you do kind of understand why that comes across as a bit on the humorous side, right?
Well, I guess, but I mean, I read in an article, and I was asking if y'all heard the same thing. I wasn't trying to. I mean,
I have not, but you're right. You were right about the Fugees earlier, so it's not like
I just think all the information needs to be brought forward so that we can all talk about it.
Yeah.
And sometimes, to your point, sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. Even if it's only a percentage of it that's truth, there's some little tinge that comes from somewhere. So I understand where you're coming from.
Let me see if I can squash this right now. Obama is not moving back to Kenya.
Okay.
That article that everybody read, and then they jumped all over the internet. Oh my God, I knew it. He's going back home. It was an April Fool's joke.
Oh,
okay, that makes sense.
Joe, thank you for subscribing, by the way. So we got another situation where we've had to debunk another conspiracy. Mandy, I do like that you are current on all of these things that are happening outside of mainstream media. How do you reconcile this with your friends on the right, though? I'm curious. Do you ever go and have you ever experienced one of these situations where you talk to them about these things and prove that, what they're saying is wrong?
I guess it just depends on what conversation. Some people will agree with me. Some people think I'm crazy, and some people just don't like me. So, I don't know. People have their own opinions on different things.
Mandy, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Those very three things, I literally get the exact same thing.
See, but we're getting it on both sides. I
Yeah.
mean, I have a mind to where I can be, I mean, you can convince me of things as long as I see the facts behind it. That's why I came from being an Obama supporter and did not vote for Trump in 2016 to where I'm at now. It's just the progression of things that I've looked into, you know.
So if you know, we're going into 2024, and you know pretty much the choice is Biden or Trump, or don't vote at all, right? Where are you leaning toward? Which side are you leaning toward?
I can't vote for Biden. I mean, I just feel like he's destroying everything that, I don't know. In my heart, I just can't vote for Biden. If they would put somebody up there like the Kennedy that may be running, I guess I could see myself voting for him. But as of right now, as it stands, it'd be Trump, I guess. I mean.
So, Mandy, let me ask this question. Mm-hmm. The Kennedy that you're referring to is a known conspiracy theorist. Known conspiracy
for the vaccines
theorist.
and stuff.
Oh, it goes well. His conspiracies go well beyond the vaccines.
I'd have to look into it. I mean, yeah, I just said that just
do a little bit of reading on there.
I will.
I'm always very fickle when I hear people say Biden is destroying everything. What exactly is he destroying?
Well, I mean, I guess we own a small restaurant in the town that I live in, and I just know that whenever Trump was in, we were doing really well. And since I know that a lot of it has to do with COVID and all the inflation that's happened and everything, and maybe I'm pointing my finger the wrong way, but I just feel like as owning a business, it's been really hard these past couple years just to keep the doors open for food cost and all that stuff. But I don't know. I'm on the fence here. That's why I like to talk to people and get more information.
You came to the right place, and I think the panel we have here is actually quite.
And I followed you too, Zeus.
I followed you too. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zeus getting another follow. So and so.
I do like you, Zeus.
Can I give a short understanding so that Mandy understands a little bit?
Okay.
If I could give just a short synopsis on kind of like what her small business is going through.
Mm-hmm.
We have to understand that when the pandemic happened, regardless of what party would have been in office, if that chain of events happened, it's going to be a cycle of financial destruction coming from it. Okay? Now, the issue is the lackadaisical behavior that Trump had when he was in office, to where it actually it really polarized what the situation was. That's the worst part, right? And then on top of that, the social unrest that happened while Trump was in office during the pandemic, that made it extreme. The numbers skyrocketed during the time that people felt like they were forced to get out there and walk the streets, take over the highways, so on and so forth, because of the social unrest. Mm-hmm. So these are all things that just kind of snowballed into the horrible situation that we're in, right? Everything went in such bad disarray financially that it is hurting every sector, supply chain, the farmers, small business owners, so on and so forth, to where it is impossible for us to keep up with the inflation because the amount of checks that had to be written in order to even have us survive as a country during that period of time. So that's not a Biden thing. And I'm not a Biden fan. As you heard me before, I'm a Republican. My issue with Biden is not what he's destroying. My issue with Biden is what we aren't fixing. It's lack of action in the areas that we need, to me.
Well, what do y'all think is going to help this? Is it going to be the policies that Trump's going to put forward, or the policies that Biden's going to keep going with now? That's what I'm kind of looking at too. Is what Trump's offering going to help fix what's going on now? You know what I'm saying? The border, I'm so sorry, but the border, that really bothers me. When I heard that they lost 85,000 children the other day, that just gets my heart. Anything to do with kids and stuff like that, I can't handle. And just to know that our government has lost 85,000 children, I mean, it really, I don't understand how that happens. And then we had the whistleblower the other day in Congress, and she said that the government is the middleman in a huge trafficking operation. This is a whistleblower in Congress the other day. It's really crazy, y'all.
All right. Well, listen. Thank you, Mandy. Now we got two additional guests, Sir Puff and Greg. How are you doing, gentlemen?
I'm fine, Spencer. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you for asking. Greg, are you there? Are you in the bunker? It shows that you're muted and I can hear you. Weird.
Me too. What about Marianne Williamson?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you.
Poor woman looked crazy, but I don't know. I don't know about her.
Marianne Williamson.
Yeah.
You'll have
No, I think Biden is still the strongest candidate. So Zeus, I don't know if you can hear me now. I was having connected issues, but so I just wanted to address is it Mandy? Mandy?
That's fine.
Hi there, how are you? So basically the issue for me with Donald Trump getting a second chance is his already proven failure on his first chance when it came to COVID, because all Donald Trump needed to do during COVID was simply come out there and say, we need to be united together. We need to be Americans. We need to love each other and protect each other. But it seemed like when Donald Trump was out there in the spotlight, all he was doing was saying things like, and I will quote him, one day, like a miracle, it will disappear. He would say things like, and you look at the disinfectant, and we think about getting that into the body. What do you think about that?
I actually just made a video on that about, because people were saying that he said inject bleach, but he was actually talking about a technology that Nikola Tesla invented a long time ago, and it's a cleaning of the blood. He used the word disinfectant. He didn't say bleach, but I actually made a video on that the other day because I wanted to know, because I didn't. I was like, if he said inject bleach, I'm out.
I know he didn't say.
He said inject bleach, I'm out.
No. He didn't say inject bleach. That's not what I'm saying.
But
what are you saying?
It seemed like. What are you saying? So here's what happened. So he goes to Bob Woodward, and he tells Bob Woodward that this is 10 times more contagious than the flu. And then the very next day,
according to Bob Woodward, is selling a book. Correct.
Sir Puff, come on. You know we
right,
don't
but he goes out to the American public the following day and says, one day, like a miracle, it'll disappear. And so he did this thing where he had this doublespeak to the American people. If he would have just been upfront with the American people and said, hey, look, this is a very serious virus. We need to wear a mask or whatever it might have been. Or if Fauci said, you know what, maybe we don't need to wear a mask because of issues, he could have said you could wear a mask at your discretion. Instead, he fought against the mask wearing for just a political ideology standpoint because he felt like he was correct. And
maybe it was a common sense standpoint.
Well, no, but at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. What mattered at that time was people needed a leader, and Donald Trump was not that leader. Joe Biden was the one that was saying the things that the American people wanted to hear. He was saying we need to, love each other and do this. And the problem is Trump has no. So that is why he can't possibly resonate with families who were loose, and that is why not get a second chance. He failed.
Well, you kind of faded out at the end of that.
And if you look at what resulted from it.
Welcome to the Greg Monologue Show.
All right. So Sir Puff, you've been very patient. What do you have to say to that?
Well, I mean, listen, we skipped some sections because when he eventually started wanting to stop travel to come in, he was called a xenophobe for doing that. While we had Nancy Pelosi saying, "No, come on down to Chinatown, everything's all right." So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, and the fact that you don't even admit that and you look out from the gate, did anybody really ever give him a fair shake? Let's be honest. Did you give him a fair shake, or did they think, oh shit, he knows the inside
Hey,
scoop
keep it
because
clean.
or did everybody say, oh crap, he
Thank
knows
you.
the inside scoop. He's played the inside game. He knows our game. He's fixing to come in here and expose our game. Because y'all forget, it wasn't just Democrats that were after him. He took on 17 Republicans. His rhetoric y'all talk about wasn't initially aimed at Democrats. His rhetoric was initially aimed at Republicans. If memory serves you correct, he went after everybody.
Okay. All
Well,
right.
okay, so let's be honest about this right here, right? I did not vote for Trump, and I wouldn't vote for Trump just because of how he was prior to the election, right? His the positions he took and things that he said. When he first went into office, he was getting some things done, signed some bills, did put his orders in place. And I'm not gonna lie, I was saying to myself, okay, this could work, right? That was the first 100 days.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, he started opening his mouth on Twitter. Then he started opening his mouth at rallies. Then he started opening his mouth when it came to the China virus,
Mm.
right? All these different things. I will 100% stand behind. If he just stopped talking, he would still be in office today.
I know so many people that think just like you do. Most
Okay,
people.
but
Can I,
what's
can
the
I respond?
results are what's important though. Do you want the doctor that
Yes,
comes to
he's
your
next.
bed and gives you the silver tongue and says, yeah, everything's going to be all fine, that walks out in the hallway, other doctor and says, wow, that guy's he's toast? Or do you want the doctor that comes in and just tells you like it is?
That's the why I liked Trump. That's what got
Okay,
my
now,
attention
now
with
that's a
him.
good
Tell you
question.
like it was. He
That's
didn't
a
tell
good
you like it
question.
was.
Now, Swervin,
I,
you've been
I
very
want
patient, and you wanted to respond to what Sir Puff was
yeah,
saying, correct?
I wanted to respond to what he said about did anybody ever give him a chance? Okay. I knew who Donald Trump was going all the way back to the early 90s. I knew what a piece of crap he was. And I'll stand by that with my whole chest. But when he became our president, my first thought was, oh crap, here we go. You know what? He's a pretty entertaining guy. This could be a lot of fun. And the next thing you know, as Poker Dad said, he just wouldn't shut up. Then he started playing golf. Then the hypocrisy. It was amazing to me how quickly the hypocrisy and the lying started.
Mm.
He lied about winning saying I would have won the popular vote too had it not been for all the fraudulent votes. And then he put together his own commission, 6 people. And in 7 months, they found 6 or 7 cases of actual prosecutable voter fraud. Then I remember when he railed against Barack Obama for taking off on Easter Sunday to go and be with his family. I'm not going to have time to play golf. I'm going to be working too hard. Do you know that man spent over 300 days on the golf course? Twice as many as Obama did in 8 years. And we paid him $150 million to do it. That's what we paid him. Okay? So it was, and what was the other one? The very first lie. I had the largest inaugural crowd in the history of this country. I've won the presidency by the largest electoral vote landslide in the history of this country. The easily fact-checkable line started. And I'm going to tell you like this, because I firmly believe this to this day. Leading up to the 2020 election, had he handled COVID like a true leader, if he would have stopped fear-mongering. Remember when he stood on the tarmac and said, suburban women, will you vote for me? I saved your suburbs. If you elect Joe Biden, he's going to take your guns, take your Bible, hurt God. He said these things. These are easily fact-checkable facts. Mm. And had he not done those 4 things, had he treated COVID responsibly, had he not constantly fear-mongered, had he not constantly lied, that man would probably still be the president to this day. But he couldn't contain himself because everything had to be about him.
Right.
That's all I wanted to say.
And I would just add to that real quick, Swerve. And you had said that, if he had been president or if he had done that, I also want to say if he also would have been a normal citizen and he got the COVID that he got, he would also probably not be alive. He got care that was not available to a lot of people at the time that he got COVID. And he had multiple comorbidities. We now know he was a lot heavier than he said he was. And so at the end of the day, he is lucky that he was able to get that care when others were not. And that's why it is so horrible the way that he was behaving in terms of not caring about these families who were losing loved ones. And he just came across as if it was not a big deal and all he cared about was the economy, the stock market, and those things. And that is why he lost the election, Swerve. And you're 1,000% correct, and I've said that too.
Oh, well, where did Sir Puff go? I wanted him to at least respond to all of this information that has just came out. Mandy, is there anything about what we've said that you don't necessarily agree with? Or are we still on track, in your opinion?
I'm listening right now. I mean, I've got some opinions on things, but I don't know. I mean, I do have a little bit of a conspiracy mind. That's why I was asking on the other conspiracies why. But no, I'm sorry. I'm out here trying to mess with. I'm blowing up this thing for my kids right now, so I'm kind of off. To come back to me here in just a second.
Okay, all right.
Oh, you're doing fine, Mandy. You're doing fine.
So I want some of you to put this in perspective as far as the human behavior side of Trump, right? I'm sure everyone here, I'm sure, has that person in their family that was the instigator of the family, or in your friend group that is the instigator, the one that kind of separates and causes the drama to make things exciting.
Two in mine, actually.
There you go. See? So my point is that is the personality type of someone like Trump. He is there to create excitement for those that want to buy into his ideology. He has been like that from the days when he got started in real estate. He was like that when he was building casinos, when he was writing checks that he couldn't cash, right? I mean, this is just the fact of the matter. He used his way and separated his way from the working man and stuck with the elite that he was with. As long as he didn't cross the elite, he was fine. He just had to screw over the working man along the way. Look at all of those lawsuits that are going on in Atlantic City that still to this day have not been paid to the union workers in Atlantic City. Everything in New York City. It is disgusting what he's done, but he just has not screwed over the elite. So if there's anyone there's an elitist, it is Donald Trump.
That Nancy Pelosi's father had mob ties. I mean, I've heard that about Trump as well, but I just want to know if y'all heard about Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, I've been hearing that for years. I've never been able to find any definitive evidence on it, but I mean, let's be
pretty good at finding information is why I'm asking.
Well, no, I mean, let's be real. Jack Kennedy, the Kennedys, they had mob ties. We all knew that. It was speculated that Richard Nixon had some.
Echo. Who's echoing?
Wasn't me. It was speculated that a lot of them had some, but we knew Jack Kennedy, John F. Kennedy knew people or his family. They had mafia connections. As far as Nancy Pelosi, as far as her father having some kind of mafia connection, you know what? Those connections to me, I wouldn't care if Donald Trump had mafia connections. Those connections to me, they don't really do a whole lot in the public light. And I can't think of a single time that they would have throughout the history of my life.
Hey, Swervin, what do you think about what's going on at the border right now? What do you think needs to be done there?
Well, the one thing we don't need to be doing is taking away funding from the border and end up laying off our Border Patrol agents. I did a quick scan of the article of what you mentioned earlier, that they're missing they appear to be missing some 85,000 children. And as I just did a quick scan, I got to read a little bit closer. But there are several policies in there that I've read. Oh my God, what was the other one? Remain in Mexico policy that Donald Trump implemented, and then it was also the zero tolerance policy, and so a lot of people started just dropping their children off at the border. Now we have no control of what goes on the other side of the Rio Grande or on the other side of the Mexican border. We cannot control that. So if people are pulling up to the border, dropping their children off, saying run that way, don't look back, mommy and daddy love you. Whatever reason they did that for, they knew their child would have some help. So these were called UACs, unaccompanied children, or UAMs, unaccompanied minors, depending on who you were talking to. These unaccompanied minors, as they came across the border, they would have families, and they would just take this child and put them with a family that they already had in detention. Well, then the children, they started getting more and more children, and this is going all the way back to and again, this is just a quick scan, so I'm sure I'm not 100% correct on something, but this goes all the way back. The UAMs goes all the way back to 2001, 2002, and there's always been a steady high rate of influx. Now, as far as border security itself, and I will say this, whoever lost 85,000 people, man, woman, or child, they need to be taken out to pasture at this point, because that's just absolutely ridiculous. That's the population of a small city. Let's be real, okay?
How does that even happen, y'all? Really, how does that happen?
Now I want to ask. We have a new panelist, Stanley. Are you here?
I wanted to put this one last thing out there.
Oh, okay.
When it comes to border security, there's a lot of technology that we could use that we already have in this country. We could easily, look, we have 3 or 4 drones flying up over Ukraine on a daily basis. Nothing against Ukraine, but for 20 years, we kept Predator drones flying over Afghanistan 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Ooh.
Okay? There's no reason we cannot use drones to monitor the border. They have
That would be a good idea.
They have forward-looking infrared, so these things work in the nighttime. They see people in the nighttime, right? So why not put a couple of drones over the border? You see some coyotes coming with people, and they're getting ready to put them into some tunnel. Not only do you find the tunnel to where you can call the Mexican authorities and say, hey, here's the coordinates of this tunnel, but you know where that tunnel is going to come out, or you can guesstimate where that tunnel is going to come out, because if the ceiling is not too thick, the FLIR can actually see through the ground. Right? They're not completely shielded from it just because they're under dirt. So why not put a few drones up there? And when people come out of a tunnel, when people cross over the border, we can have Border Patrol standing right there. Hey, you're going to go to these GPS coordinates. They tap them into a screen. Their GPS in their vehicles will take them right to those coordinates, and they can pick them up right there on the spot. We don't have to worry about an influx of people being unloaded into just running across the border. And that's the problem with the border. Right now, Republicans want to make it seem as if there's millions of people flooding across the border on a daily basis, and there just isn't. They want to make it seem like this migrant horde is about to invade our country.
Right, they say we're being invaded.
Okay, and this is why I would implore people, stop with that kind of rhetoric, because that kind of rhetoric, it creates hate. Well, these people ain't come to my country. No, that's man, right. You got to stop that kind of rhetoric, because it creates hate. And I will blame Democrats and I will blame Republicans. Okay, when I got out of the Navy in 2000, that was when I started becoming aware of these things.
Oh,
but since then, I have watched Democrats and Republicans alike kick the can down the road on border immigration, border control, border security. They have all kicked the can down the road. The only one that I can think of who did anything truly significant was President Biden when he got Mexico to pay $1.8 billion for additional border security.
God bless President Joseph R.
What are
Biden.
they going to do with that money? Have they allocated it
Now
yet?
wait a
Where's it
second. We
going to
gotta
go?
let Stanley talk.
Yeah,
Okay,
go
he's
ahead. That was all I wanted to say. You can come
thank
back
you,
to me.
sir,
Apologize.
for that in-depth explanation of Biden getting to the border and putting real boots on the ground. Okay, he's the only one taking it seriously. Stanley, greetings.
Greetings. Thank you so much for accepting my request. I'm your neighbor. I'm from Canada. Uh,
Okay.
17 years here in Canada, originally from Europe, Bulgaria, a small
Oh,
country from the
always happy
Eastern
to hear
Bloc.
from our neighbors, our friendly neighbors in the north.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you touched so many topics, so I'm not sure from where exactly to start, but I just want to give my small opinion. You're all smart people and you think the right way.
Mm.
Um, I just want to say about Trump that for me, from my perspective, he was the right president for you guys at the right time. Um, like what I'm trying to say is that Trump took U.S. as a business model, and he stabilized U.S. for a certain time. COVID hit,
Mm.
and he said few things about the elites that he will not play their games. That's why he was removed. I know that you will say elections and votes and this and that, but he was the best for you guys for that time. So about COVID, I'll give you a small example about Canada and US. Canada, it was a total like lockdowns and super bad. We lost our jobs and the freedom of choice was like completely ignored and it was terrible, you know. And you see what happened in Florida. Florida handled it quite well, to be honest with you. You know, that as Sweden too. Sweden, they handled the COVID uh, really
Um,
well, and we saw like a few little things there that kind of worked out.
Now,
You know.
now,
Zeus,
you
hey Zeus, can someone refresh my memory? Since Florida handled it so well, how many more trucks did Florida need to order?
that's
Yeah,
more poker dead.
yeah,
Poker
yeah.
dead. Speak
So
to it.
yeah, let's just get into this one right here, okay? And I appreciate Stanley's perspective on this, but obviously he came from a country that was extremely locked down, that did not have the same amount of debt that we have here in the States. Now, I will say this, when it comes to the economic side of the state of Florida, we flourished compared to every other state in the country because of what DeSantis was doing. I'll give him that much.
And
But,
California did too, poker dead. But continue.
but, but, I will also say this. The amount of torture that COVID brought the state of Florida during that time will, I mean, I assure you, it's like PTSD. We will never get past it down here.
Mm.
Okay. Me, myself, I was in the hospital for a couple of months from COVID at the beginning because of, and I was literally on lockdown, went out in public at certain times. It happened with me. Multiple family members in my sector, in my county, in my city
Mm.
died. Okay. And this was all in a short period. Like, it didn't waste time. It completely leveled, especially South Florida.
Mm.
Okay. So to say that it was handled the right way, no. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be like there was a perfect way to do it. No. But to sit here and act like just because economically we were good down here, I'll take my family back and lose some money.
Mm.
And I'll leave it at that because I will always choose my family over economics.
Woo!
I agree with you 110%, Poker Dad. 110%, brother.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I'm very sorry to hear that you lost family members. You certainly have my condolences on that.
Yes. Yes.
This is
Now,
why, and this is why the empathy thing comes into play because you've got people who actually lost family members to this, while you had members of the Republican Party and Donald Trump downplaying this forever as if it was a flu and it wasn't that serious. And the cost of that had real
consequences. And people who were on these, you know, on the deathbed or whatever you want to call it, even asked, can I get the vaccine now? Like after the vaccine was out. There were people who said things like that. There was also a case where somebody said, well, Donald Trump told me that this was not that serious. And those are direct quotes from people. So it does impact people, and it did lead to people losing their lives. That is why, and to the people in the chat, why won't you talk about the Wuhan release? Who cares? It doesn't matter where it came from. And it shouldn't have mattered where it came from when we were dealing with COVID, because what mattered was getting it under control. You can
What
investigate it later.
what mattered is it was already here.
Right. It was
It
already
was
here, and
already here.
you
I mean,
had people.
what are you going to do? Let me ask you
Yeah,
this:
sorry.
if you have a wild dog running down the street, right, and you see that dog, you know that dog is going to do some damage. Are you going to stop and look at the dog and go, "Well, I need to find out where it came from first before I go chasing after it"?
Right.
No, you're going to chase after that wild animal first before you worry about where it came from.
Exactly. And the problem is the people in the Republican Party, the other people that were fighting against it, saying, "Well, we gotta find out the origins, the oranges of the." It's like, no, we need to get it under control first, and then we can
Right.
worry about where it came from, and we can hold those accountable. But nobody understood that at the time because nobody was taking it seriously, because the guy at the top was telling you that it wasn't that serious, but telling Bob Woodward in a book that it was.
Mm.
He
Now,
was
now,
telling he was telling people in middle America where populations are down below 2,000 and 3,000 people that it was nothing serious because it hadn't even reached them at that point. And they were believing this nonsense. So yes, there was a huge part of America that believed that COVID wasn't even real. It was a big conspiracy. And then it swept through them 9 months later too.
Yeah, it eventually got to them. Remember the bike event? What was the bike event? That the big motorcycle event? Sturgis or something?
Sturgis, yeah.
Yeah.
Sturgis, yeah.
They ended up everybody ended up getting sick over there. It was horrible, and then they were incapacitated and everyone was like, "Wait, what happened? Where'd this come from? What is this?" And it's like, "Dude, we've been trying to tell you. It's coming."
yeah.
So, yeah.
Sorry,
Now,
guys, can I say something? And I'm going down. Thank you for this opportunity. I hope
wait,
that
wait, wait. Before
I
you go any
didn't touch.
further, Stanley, I want to make sure the progress was made with this conversation. So you did say that we did have the president we deserved at that time. Is that what I heard you say?
Yes.
And I want to explore that a little bit, if you don't mind, before you go on to your next topic. From Canada, what does that mean? Why do you think America deserved Trump right after Barack Obama?
Well, from our well,
Hi,
like it's
Barry. By
very
the way,
hard
I'm
to
sorry. Yes, keep going.
like like that's my perspective. I can't say for every single Canadian, right? Like
But why do you think
let's
he
be
deserved Trump? Was in your opinion, was Obama a bad president or a good president for the United States?
I will stay not. Uh, I don't know. I don't know what to say about Obama. I think he was just okay from my perspective. Um,
He could have
uh,
did a little better.
I believe so. He was a little bit passive, to be honest with you.
Okay, okay. So Obama was too passive, and Trump needed to be the president we needed. And what would you describe Trump as?
As more like a businessman,
Hmm.
and he ran America as a business model, as a company. And I think that's why kind of lift you up a little bit. And after that, obviously, COVID came and ruined the economies around the
Mr.
globe.
Stanley, may I ask you a question
Of
regarding
course.
that, running it as a business? So, being that he has a long record in business of doing unspeakable things to the little people as a businessman, what do you think he's going to take the same business practice into when it comes into the most important position in America.
You're familiar with Trump's businesses, right? Like right now in
Yeah,
New
well,
York. In New York,
yeah,
does
I'm
the Trump
familiar.
or
I'm familiar that he bankrupt twice, and he had like some scandals. But let's be honest, guys.
wait. Wait, you didn't answer this. You're aware that his Trump org, his CFO, has just gone to jail, right? Right now he's out, but you're aware of all of this stuff, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely.
so you're aware he runs a criminal enterprise.
Uh, and 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 so many other people.
So Zeus,
Do you think
But
it's
they're
only
not
him?
looking into anybody else, just
Like,
Trump.
I mean, why you frame him and you have so many like Biden and Hunter Binder in Ukraine that they're laundering millions.
I knew
So
we were
so
gonna get
so
shot. I knew we were
Zeus,
gonna.
Zeus,
Yes,
Zeus.
brother Swervin.
Let me remind you something. When Stanley came in here, he said, and I quote, Donald Trump was the president we needed at the time to stabilize America.
Right.
what?
Okay. America was already stabilized. You know why? Because President Obama pulled us out of a recession that the last Republican caused.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a fact. So when you say things like Donald Trump stabilized America, America was already stabilized before Barack Obama handed him a booming economy. And now you're sitting here and you're talking about Hunter Biden and they're funneling millions and money laundering. You have zero proof of that. And the beautiful thing is, like, I'm gonna tell you right now, Republicans, you really are crappy at investigating because y'all make wild accusations, but you can never prove a single one
I
of them.
take offense to that, Swervin.
Well,
So
I
okay,
told
my
you.
bad, Polka Dad.
I
I'm
told you.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Who has it?
I'm not trying to offend anybody, but what I'm saying is, when you make these wild accusations, who's the guy? James Comer. He has come out publicly. He was the special prosecutor appointed to investigate Joe Biden for all of this garbage. He came out publicly and said, "Yeah, there might be a couple of things that are unethical, but yeah, we got nothing. We got nothing on him or his family. Nothing."
Echo is bad, y'all.
Who's echoing?
it might have been me, but I was muted that time, so it couldn't have been me. But I just wanted to say something to Mary real quick because she said something about, well, they're going after Trump. And the reason they're going after Trump is because in New York with Michael Cohen, in that election, in the, I'm trying to think of the term I'm looking for, campaign finance part of Michael Cohen's legal battle, Donald Trump was actually listed as individual one. So he was an unindicted co-conspirator. So if he hadn't been president, he would not have been protected. The only reason why he didn't get charged with Michael Cohen was because he was president. When this all came to light, he would have been, he absolutely would have been charged because he was listed as individual one.
So,
So go ahead.
Greg, let me ask you this. If Donald Trump is individual one, that's like 10% to the big guy as far as Hunter Biden is concerned.
Pretty much. It's actually, it would pretty much be worse in that regard.
I can't take the Hunter Biden story seriously.
But this is the thing. Like they wanna make the Hunter Biden thing an angle, but they ignore the fact that Donald Trump.
Why don't you want to talk about Hunter Biden?
We can
because
talk
there's
about
no
Hunter Biden,
docket number.
but the problem with this is that they have to prove that there is evidence of this enough so to indict him, which they have not done.
Right.
And what Swerven has just said, and what I know to be true, because James Comer was on an interview the other day and said, "Well, we really don't have anything of substance yet." And it's like, okay, cool. So they're still digging or whatever they're doing to try to get this information. If there is information and things of that nature, then fine, charge him. I don't care. The problem is, one, Hunter Biden doesn't work for the government. Okay? If we want to talk about people that were doing things that were bad, we need to talk about Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump, because Ivanka Trump got 26 trademarks from China when she was working in the White House. And Jared Kushner got the Saudi money.
Oh,
So
stand on
again,
that.
those are real things. Those are real conflicts of interest. We talk about using influences and things like that. Look in front of you because it happened with Ivanka and Jared. It absolutely did.
And
I digress.
Ivanka Trump.
And Ivanka.
Ivanka Trump made $650 million while working in the White House through
So
influence
should
peddling
we?
and her patents. Donald Trump made $1.5 billion while working in the White House as the president. Steve Mnuchin got a $1 billion payout from the Saudis, and Jared Kushner got a $2 billion payout. Even though what happened, the Crown Prince said we're going to give him $2 billion. And the finance ministry of Saudi Arabia said, no, he doesn't have a really good track record with money. This is not going to be a good idea. We shouldn't do this. The Crown Prince said, nope, give it to him anyway.
Yeah.
And
we have tangible
one thing I
evidence.
will give Ivanka Trump in this whole thing is she knew when the water was getting too deep and she exit stage left.
Yeah, she was like, "Yeah, I got to get out of here." My dad's, and when she testified,
and obviously because she was in essence, even though Junior's like the main name on the organization, right?
And I'll say,
and she was a huge participant as far as the name being used to have money sifted through.
And I just want to say one more
I need to
thing
get out of
before, and I'll shut up for a while, I promise. So the other thing was, that people in the chat are saying, well, you don't care about Hunter Biden's laptop now all of a sudden. It's like, look, that laptop was in possession of the FBI in 2019. That laptop we know was manipulated by people at that place where it was stored. There were pictures put onto it that were not on the computer. They were photoshopped. And we know that.
Yeah.
That happened.
Yeah.
So again,
for 18 months.
Yeah.
14 months.
And if you bring up Hunter's
What
laptop,
about the things that weren't faked, y'all?
Well, there were some things on there.
I just want to make sure we have this understanding on this live. I don't want to talk about Hunter's laptop, but if you do bring it up,
You did say you want to talk conspiracy, Zeus.
Huh?
You did say you want to talk conspiracy, Zeus.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're classifying that as a conspiracy. But if you bring up Hunter's laptop, you also have to talk about Trump's laptop out there in Mar-a-Lago. So why don't you talk about that?
Yeah,
I've not heard about that. What was found on Trump's laptop? I haven't heard that. Y'all have to inform me.
Whoa. Okay, let me just say this. The repair shop is being sued right now for their conduct with that laptop, okay? Because it's a real situation. It's very there was information put on there that was photoshopped and things like that. But yes, anybody else want to take it? I don't want to keep talking, but go ahead, Swerve, and take the laptop.
As far as the Trump laptop is concerned, it's been proven, and Jack Smith is coming. They need to do one of them monster truck rally commercials for Jack Smith. Sunday, Jack Smith, he's coming to a courthouse near you with Donald Trump.
Yes. It wasn't me. I'm just here to let you know.
Jack Smith.
Okay, just for misinformation purposes, I need to correct myself. The tech at the center said that it was compromised and that Rudy had the laptop. So that's what's happening. They're not being sued. That's my mistake. So yes, the tech said that Mr. Giuliani had the laptop in his possession. So what did he do with the laptop when he had it?
He added all kinds of nasty stuff on it, like we've been saying. Now, Brother Swerver, can you please inform Mandy about this?
Yes, let me get back to that. I got lost in my Sunday truck rally commercial. But the laptop that they now have that Jack Smith has in his possession, it came from Mar-a-Lago. He has already deposed the aide, and we don't know whose aide she was. I don't know if it was an aide of Donald Trump, but he has already deposed the aide who has testified before a grand jury saying she scanned classified documents into this laptop and then handed it back over to Donald Trump. So now we got Donald Trump's laptop to worry about.
Mandy, did you hear that? I saw your box disappeared for a second. Were you hearing what Swerve?
Sorry, I just got a call right when you were saying that.
Oh!
I swear I had the worst luck ever.
It's okay, Mandy. What happened?
Repeat again.
No worries. There was an aide at Mar-a-Lago who scanned classified documents to Donald Trump's laptop
Mm.
and then gave it back to Donald Trump. And Jack Smith,
He is not. He
well,
is not.
and Mandy, here's another thing we have to also take a look at. On February 21st of 2021, Joe Biden revoked Donald Trump's security clearance. So he should have never had any of that stuff at that point. And presidents,
Seems like that
contrary to
happens with
popular belief,
all of them. Like they
contrary to
all have
popular,
classified documents somewhere in a closet somewhere. Didn't Bill
and,
Clinton
and
have
that
something in a sock drawer or something back in the day?
and that may be true. We all have secrets hidden deep in the closet. So you could be right about that, right? However, when the president himself revokes your security clearance, and then your only objective at that point is to blackmail Nara, you give me these documents, and
Thank
I'll
you.
give you back some of these. No, it was amazing to me that it took him 8 months to go and have to get it. That's what was amazing to me.
Yeah, and that's where he's being investigated for right now. Is it Mary or Mandy? So
Mandy, you can call me
Mandy.
Mandy.
Okay, so basically, what happened was, and this is real information that the DOJ has released their log of events, but they asked Mr. Trump for documents that they were missing, and Donald Trump's team got together and they said, okay, we'll get those together for you. And they kept saying, and so then they gave them the documents, but there were documents missing from the request that they had asked for. So it was like, well, where are these documents? And
Yeah.
then as time went on, there was security footage of people pushing documents into another room that is now in the possession of Jack Smith, who's a special prosecutor. What if you remember Kid Rock? If you remember, Kid Rock had an interview where he said, I wasn't even sure I was supposed to see these documents that Donald Trump was showing me.
Yeah.
Right? He was showing off these documents. Maybe he thought they were mementos. But we learned that these documents were top secret. Some were so top secret that you needed a special clearance to view them. And so you had to be like in a skiff, and you had to like it was wild. And so with the documents, you said everybody has them. Yes, you are correct. There were
I
three
believe Jerry
boxes.
has some top secret documents up top too.
Yeah, sorry, and I'll let him talk. But the thing is,
Jerry, you got
but he is under investigation right now for espionage and obstruction of justice when it comes to those documents because
If he
he
done that, then he needs to be punished for it and
right,
charged. I mean, I'm on y'all side. If somebody does
right,
something, they need to be. That's what the problem is none of these politicians ever get what's coming to them. If me or you done what they did, we would be in jail for life. I mean, that's my point. I mean,
exactly.
it
And
was
the
terrible.
document thing isn't even the bad part. The worst part of this, and Bill Barr agrees himself, is the obstruction. If you tell Nara, yeah, we're going to give you documents back, and you keep like moving them and shuffling them around, they tell you to lock them up. You don't lock them up, despite what you hear in these TikToks. They were not locked up. They found them in a drawer. There was no lock. There was nothing going on there.
going
So
into other
I heard
countries.
something about a drawer.
yeah,
I did
so
hear that.
so why did Donald Trump have these documents that were top secret? We're not talking just like classified. These are things that are like almost to the level of nuclear security. I mean, we're talking serious shit.
Hey!
I'm sorry. He didn't have them locked up, and that's the thing. That anybody should be against that. That's
The
not
difference
something.
in like the Biden documents that he was hiding compared to like Trump documents.
Well, the Biden
Biden wasn't
documents.
hiding them.
Well, he didn't. So what happened was NARA did an audit after all this, and they found that Joe Biden still had documents left over. So Joe Biden immediately handed them over, right? All the documents that he had, he handed them to the authorities. Then they went
Cut it
to
out.
a Penn Center, which was another place that had documents, and they found additional documents for Joe Biden. There are 20, and I have looked up all these numbers. There are 20 documents in question with Joe
That's it.
Biden.
That's
There are
it.
300 in question with
There's
Donald
not.
Trump.
There's nothing.
It
There's
is
no there there.
astronomically higher, and
There's
that's
no.
the difference. And so when we talk about the difference, the obstruction is where it comes into play. You can actually get in a lot of trouble for going against NARA's wishes. If NARA is missing documents and they need those documents, you give them immediately everything that you have.
That's right.
So the question you have to ask is, why did Donald Trump feel that he had the right to them? He went on TV, and I'm sorry, I don't want to take over the slide, but I know this stuff and I'm so like I've studied this stuff. So
I get it.
So
We
the
got
thing
to
is, Donald Trump went on Sean Hannity's show, and he essentially said, Sean Hannity said, well, were these documents declassified? And Donald Trump's first answer was, well, I can declassify things with my eyes closed. That is not accurate. He cannot do that. He has to go through a process to do that, and he can't do that once he's not president anymore. You lose the ability to declassify. Despite all the information that you've heard on this website, they're wrong. The Presidential Records Act specifically says a president cannot declassify after he leaves office for any reason.
Now,
So-
thank you, Brother Greg.
Yeah,
Now,
sorry, I'm done.
You definitely got, Mandy, I have a question, and then we want to hear from Jerry, because he's behaved himself, and I've never seen Jerry behave himself like this, so I'm definitely...
I know, right?
Yeah. And I want to know what dark, dirty, and disgusting things Jerry has on his mind, so brace yourselves. But Mandy, I just have one question. Based on what we've just talked about with these laptops, which would you say is more important? Which laptop, in terms of us getting to the bottom of Hunter Biden's laptop or Trump's laptop?
I guess it depends on if there's information on the Hunter Biden laptop that has to do with our country and a country's business. I don't know. I can't really compare the two, but I do believe whatever happens, if they have done illegal activities, they must be put in jail. I mean, or we are not going to have any. We already don't trust.
What more could be the worst thing I think we could have on our laptop is classified information. Anything else below that, in my opinion, is secondary.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm not here to kink shame anyone.
Yeah.
So whatever
We'll do that to Jerry.
Whatever weird pictures may have been on Hunter Biden's laptop, you know what? You do you, boo boo. I'm gonna just sit back and watch.
It's
I
the
don't care.
niece that bothers me. The diary that she wrote about
but
taking
wait a minute.
showers with her dad and stuff.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
worries me.
All right, Jerry.
Hold on. That's already been disproven to not be Ashley Biden's diary.
See, why do we get different information? That's what
Because
I just don't understand.
Ashley Biden has came out publicly and said, I don't know where this book came from, but it ain't mine. That ain't even my handwriting.
Okay, so we got that out the way.
So
Thank you.
Well, I mean, there's conspiracies you can go into about like his signature from in the 90s to now is completely different. But I mean, who knows?
So those of you that need to put your earplugs on right now, because we don't know where this live is about to take a
Is it
right
getting ready to get that bad?
Jerry.
Jerry, you better be
I even
nice,
see
Jerry.
I saw your forehead crink up a couple times, so I know you've got a lot written down and on your mind.
I'm here to listen and learn, y'all.
Okay, so seriously, guys, what are you guys even doing? It's disgusting. You guys are acting like, okay, first of all, I don't understand why you think that billionaires are ever going to be treated like common folk. How do you think that? Why do you think that's going to happen? It's not. It's not going to happen. Stop it. Number two, you guys are making, if you guys are Democrats and you don't like Trump, why are you talking about him? You guys understand you are making him relevant.
Hey, Jerry.
I don't talk about
Jerry.
him much.
Jerry.
And I've been in seminars and stuff.
Hey,
I'm like, he's
Jerry.
a smart man. He might not be the most ethical businessman, but he's a billionaire.
Jerry, I don't know.
Shut up.
Jerry, I don't know if you knew or not, but Donald Trump is running for president right now. Why can't we talk about him?
We should be
Because
able
you're
to talk
making
about
him relevant.
everything.
Do you understand? He
running
wouldn't.
for president
He got
right
his
now,
butt
Jerry.
handed to him. He got his
making
butt handed to
himself
him by
relevant.
Biden. They wouldn't put him back up there unless everybody made him look like a damn superstar. And I don't remember who was saying it, the Canadian guy who was saying, you know what? The Democrats are really good at making crazy accusations and being able to prove nothing, which just makes him look like a superhero. And he needs to stand against this ridiculousness.
Zeus, can you mute him?
If
Because he
y'all
wants to
really
Hey,
talk.
you
cared
gotta
about
let him
this
talk,
country,
Swerve. He
y'all,
got to talk. He's
Let him
listening to us.
talk.
Just let him get it out.
Okay, I'm just saying, Donald Trump is running for president. He makes himself relevant. And don't we have the right to
oh my
talk about our
goodness.
presidential
Oh,
candidates?
I'm
Swerving,
saying you have a
I
right to be
agree with
stupid.
you.
That's the
I agree
thing.
with you, Swerving, but
You have a right to be
Donald Trump is going
ridiculous.
to be our retribution.
cut it out, Mandy. Jerry, please continue.
Retribution.
Jesus. That's why
You know
Poker
what?
Dad,
If
that's why
Donald
Poker
Trump
Dad
wins, I'm gonna
gave
let
the
you know.
warning
If
before
Donald
letting
Trump
Jerry talk.
wins, it's your fault. It's your fault, Democrats, who won't shut the heck up and focus on more important things than these ridiculous accusations that you can't prove. And even if you do prove them, it won't matter. He's gonna get away with it.
We need to focus on the
He's not going to
policies,
some
y'all.
supermax prison. He's not gonna get,
I don't know if you
Trump
can say
thumped in the
that.
rear end.
I don't
It's
know
not
if you can
gonna
say that.
happen.
Can y'all just let Jerry get it out so we can get to the rebuttals? I don't think he
Really,
has much.
really,
I don't think he has much left in the tank,
I'm
to be
calm.
quite honest.
I'm calm. But really, I don't understand why. Why do you guys think that you guys matter in such a way that the two-party system is what's going to destroy you? If you really cared about the government, if you really wanted change, you would make sure you would vote for another party, because these two clowns are just the two parties are just basically sending us one idiot after the other and
Agreed.
doing whatever they do. They have a system.
I'll,
They're in cahoots.
there is some logic to what
Come
Jerry
on,
is saying right now. I mean,
Jerry. Are you done? Are you
I'll
done,
piggy up.
Jerry? Before
I
we get
am
to the
not
rebuttals.
done. I'm not done, but I'm willing to. But I really want to know, really, guys, what are you really trying to do by these arguments? You guys are
Okay.
trying to say, "Oh, this one's the bigger criminal." Come on,
So
there's
Jerry,
a whole scam to be a politician. You lie
Jerry,
to the stupid people. You tell them ridiculous things. Then you pay off the news things. You guys can't even track how smart these people are, because they know how to build companies upon companies, and then they have people that are doing things for them, and
And then
you're
there's
never
people
going
right,
to
above
track it
them.
all. You're not
Jerry,
designed
Jerry.
to.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Jerry, let me correct
Okay.
something. So Joe Biden did not come from wealth. Let's start there. Joe
Jesus.
Biden did not come from wealth. His dad worked very hard for him to have a good life. Whereas Donald Trump's father was already a wealthy person who gave Donald Trump a loan,
What is
and
wrong?
Donald Trump kind of made some money but then lost a bunch of money, right? So Joe Biden, to say that Joe Biden and him are essentially millionaires, they may be in theory today, but Joe Biden knows what it's like to be in a position where you're struggling to put food on the table and things like that, and that is why he resonated with the American people in 2020.
Yeah.
Where did Biden make all his millions
You know
then? We
what?
can
That's
track
a
where
myth and a
Trump got his,
handbasket
Well,
right
but
there.
be,
where
That was
did
he
Biden get
a
his?
so he got money from being a politician, as they all do.
Millions
Okay,
and millions?
yeah, I
a
mean
Their
game.
salary, isn't it like 400,000 or 200,000 a
yeah, but
year? And
over
they all
time, I
end
mean,
up
he's been in
millionaires?
Congress how long, right?
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
What
Wait
do
a
Book
y'all
minute.
think
Wait a minute.
about
deals.
like term limits?
Okay, we got too many people talking at one time.
Oh, go ahead.
Joe Biden has written 2 best-selling books. That's where his millions came from. That's where
He can barely talk.
he can barely talk, but he can write very well.
I
And
hope so.
when he's writing, and Zeus, I'm sorry, I get so sick and tired.
Keep it clean, Swerving. I know where you want to
And
go.
you
Keep it.
I like you swerving. I do.
and I like you too. But when you sit here and you say he can barely talk, this man has a diagnosed stutter since he was 8 years old. So
What?
now you're sitting here making
I've
fun.
never heard that. I mean, he talked
Course
fine
you,
back in his
of
30s and
of
40s
course
and
you didn't.
50s
But you
perfectly.
sit here and you make fun of someone's disability.
I'm not making fun of anyone.
That's it.
I'm
Oh,
just,
but he can't
he
talk,
has
right?
a hard time public speaking.
You
Like I would be
Wait a
terrible
second.
at
you
public speaking.
Let Swerving continue, please.
Mandy, you
So
voted
sorry.
Mandy, you voted for the man who said, "Let's keep America gay." Did you know that?
Wasn't that a missaid word? I think he misspoke that,
You
didn't he?
you
What's
also
wrong with
voted for the man who
Keep
said the
America gay? What does
infantrymen
that mean?
ran the airports in 1776. You know, just about 100 years before the
They've
first
all said
airplane was
stupid
even
stuff.
built.
We can't fight over that.
No, we're
And
not fighting over that. You sit here and you say that Joe
What?
Biden can't put a sentence together. The man has a diagnosed stutter since he was a child.
And
But
he had a brain
What about when
aneurysm.
he like
Hold
wanders
on.
away from the
I think
podium and
it's
don't
And
know
it's
where
not
he's
Greg
at?
that has
And he
the
had a
okay.
autism.
It
brain
doesn't.
aneurysm. He had a
Okay,
brain
Then he does
aneurysm.
not
we're
need to
we're
be our
losing we're losing
president.
we're
My
losing
He
God.
has all
organization
these
on
Can
this.
I, Zeus,
problems.
can I finish? Can I
Yes, yes,
finish?
Andy and Greg. I think you have the echo. You want to drop and come back?
I'll
Because
try.
I really get mad at this argument of how somehow Joe Biden is senile and he's old sleepy Joe. What about when Donald Trump was standing right in front of the presidential limousine and he couldn't find it? What about when Donald Trump was standing there on stage saying Melania wishes she could have been here tonight and she's standing right behind him? What about that? Y'all will never talk about that. You just want to sit here and make fun of a man who's got a stutter, who has served this country longer than Donald Trump ever will, because he will never be back in the White House. And the whole fact that you come up with this notion that he can't put two sentences together. You know what? Let me tell you something about old Sleepy Joe. This old, dawdy, sleepy dementia patient. This old,
What are we
dawdy
doing?
man with Alzheimer's, late stage
What
Alzheimer's,
is going on now?
who's going to kick off at any second now. This man, Sleepy Joe, told the stable genius on live television to shut his mouth, then took his job. Then he managed to pass monumental legislation for our country on a bipartisan level. There is a factory being built in my state right now because of monumental legislation that Joe Biden has passed. But this old
Oh,
sleepy
that's
daughter
great.
dementia patient, y'all seem to think that he's sleepy, he's got Alzheimer's, he can't put a sentence
Can we
together,
stop acting
while at
like
the
the
same
president
time,
does everything all by himself? Can we stop
I'm not done,
pretending
please.
Hold
that
on.
the
I
world
am
is
not done,
president?
please. While at
Keep
the
it
Well,
clean.
same
you need to
time,
be. You
while
need
at
to
the
be because you're
same
talking
time,
ridiculousness.
let me finish,
And you're
please.
Please
trying
get
to
Hold on,
quiet.
Jerry.
I
Hold
let
on,
you
Jerry.
talk, Jerry.
for
Let him
flowers.
talk.
Jerry, I
Let
let you talk,
All
so
right,
be
go ahead.
quiet.
All right, we can
thank you.
painfully sit through this.
Then good. You painfully sit through it because we painfully sat through you too. So just be quiet and let me
I'm
finish.
sorry. Sorry. Keep
This
going.
old,
Keep going.
dawdy, sleepy dementia patient who has passed monumental legislation for this country, somehow he's got Alzheimer's, but he is still managing to run a criminal mastermind organization between China and Ukraine while passing all this monumental legislation while barely knowing where he's at. You don't even understand your own logic that you keep tripping over.
Okay, can I just address that real quick, Sorvin?
Imagine
I
what Sleepy Joe could do if he actually
Yes,
woke up.
Poker
Y'all
Dad,
would
you're
be in
next.
for it.
yeah, let me
I'm
just
waiting on
address
him
that
to
real
wake
quick
up.
because obviously I respect you immensely, Sorvin, but I have to give you a little bit of kickback on some of the things you just said. Okay, good example for the Republican Party. Who do we always look at? Ronald Reagan. His second term, most of his term, he was completely out of his mind, but what he was doing in office was making a difference for the country. There were still things that were happening at that time that was looked upon in a positive way. Just like there's things going on right now with Biden that's being looked at in a positive way. So
Exactly.
to say automatically it's Biden doing this, I think is a little bit of a miscalculation on that, right?
I never said
Now,
it. I never once said it's Biden doing this. Not one
okay.
time.
So the other side to this also is I want to think about this perspective as well. What is more important for the average man to have, money or power? And we could argue that power
Power.
goes farther than money every day of the week. Biden, for a number of years, being in the majority, being in every level of government on the federal level, had a ton of power for a lot longer than, I don't even want to say, Cheeto being in office. So if we're comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges, Biden absolutely had more power over the years than one Mr. Cheeto.
I really
So I
don't.
want to be real on that for a minute.
I really don't even understand how that's relevant because right now Biden is the president, and these accusations of him being sleepy and having dementia or Alzheimer's or him being a P3DO.
I'm not going along with that, Swerve, and I'm not saying anything about calling him names like that. No.
What I'm
Please don't
saying
take it
is
like that.
what I'm saying is not one bit of this ever came up until he started running for president against Donald Trump. And we still can't find one single docket number where a parent or a child has ever accused Joe Biden of the trash that some of these right wingers have accused him of.
Right. There is no docket number.
There was a time when Lindsey Graham had
When
an
you're
interview.
good at being a criminal, you don't get a docket number, you clowns.
So here's the
Just
thing.
saying.
Jerry.
Names.
Here's the thing. So there was a time when Lindsey Graham did an interview before the 2016 election where he was in the back of a limo, and he said something along the lines of, "If you don't like Joe Biden as a person, there's something wrong with you." And this is a guy who worked with him in the Senate for many years and had a great respect for him.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was, this was also when Lindsey Graham was bashing Donald Trump, saying, if we nominate Trump, we deserve to lose. Okay? And now Lindsey Graham is crying on Fox News, trying to get Trump money that he doesn't need from supporters who he would not support if they needed money. So the point is that Lindsey has now gone into this field, which is Donald Trump, because he is the Republican Party now. And that is what they bow to. They bow to him only. And they have changed their tone on Joe Biden. They're saying things about him that they never said before. It's just crazy. It's nuts. And that's what people don't understand, and that's why they need deprogrammed from this man, because he has
What do you
corrupted.
mean by deprogram, man?
Because Donald Trump has you with a yo-yo and telling you that you're very sleepy. That's what he's doing.
We feel the same way about y'all.
The other day,
y'all.
Listen, the other day,
this is the divide and conquer.
Here's a perfect example. The other day, Donald Trump released a video on his Truth Social platform because, Twitter said we can't deal with people that want to stage a coup. So anyway, what he said was he essentially blamed Joe Biden for everything that he is being charged with.
Facts. I saw.
He said that that Joe Biden is guilty of obstruction. First of all, he's not under investigation for obstruction, nor is he guilty of obstruction. He said that he had 11,000 documents, okay, which Joe Biden does not have 11. There was not 11,000 documents. There were 30 that were found. Okay?
No, Greg. Let me correct you. What Donald Trump said after he got arrested, indicted, read his rights, and then sat in the courtroom when he got to more lockup that night, he actually said, and I quote, Joe Biden walked out of the White House with 1,180 boxes.
180 boxes of boxes.
Go ahead, Greg.
But the problem is, so what he does is he does this thing where he projects everything in his videos, and he's getting people to believe the things that he is saying because he knows that Mike Pence is testifying against him. And this video was released the day that Mike Pence testified. So what he is he's terrified. Okay, he's scared because Mike Pence is probably going to flip on him. And so what he's doing is creating this narrative so that when he is charged with something, when he is charged with something, he is going. His followers on this app are going to continue to repeat the nonsense that he continually says over and over again. That's just not true. You wonder why your accounts are banned. There's a reason. You're spreading misinformation. You don't need 50 accounts for a reason. Maybe that's a you issue. And I digress.
Where's my hammer?
You understand when you got a bunch of peons talking about the government, you're all freaking got misinformation.
Cut it out.
are you
Cut it out.
talking
Exactly.
about?
That's why we all have different information. I mean, that is exactly why we all have different information. Then we come together and try to talk about it, and it just divides us further. I mean,
But,
they
Are
but
you
the thing
not
is,
literally.
entertained?
you guys are all arguing
I'm
over
somewhat entertained.
misinformation.
Yeah, I guess
Why
we're
don't you guys
entertained.
just sit there and say, is Santa Claus real? And I will put my Santa hat on, and you guys can argue left and right. At least
Jerry,
that would be more
to some
intelligent of an
people,
argument.
Santa is real, Jerry. So cut that out. I will not be talking about Santa
I
in
am
this
real. I
Okay.
am real.
Now,
And you're all
Mandy,
bad boys and girls.
Mandy, I want to
Talking
go
about
back to some of Biden's accomplishments. You may be familiar
what
with
from
them.
1912? What accomplishments are you talking
Good
about?
point. Good. Since he's been
Yes, I
president.
would like to hear the accomplishments.
Since he's been president. How about that?
Let's go.
1.2.
Since he's president? Okay, nothing.
No, 1.2 trillion bipartisan.
Jerry, mute for a little bit.
Huh? So we got
Jerry, mute for a little bit.
We got
Everybody mute.
infrastructure passed, right? Swerving.
Yes, sir.
What is the joke about the infrastructure
They're gonna
again?
banana us for false information.
I can't hear you. Jerry is running his mouth again.
What was the infrastructure thing? You know, Trump tried to do it, Biden did it. How did that joke go? Could you
The infrastructure. Oh, I can't even remember now.
It was about Trump kept talking about infrastructure week. And
Well,
it never happened.
I know he kept talking about infrastructure week.
Uh-huh.
It never once happened.
Right.
And lo and behold, Joe Biden managed to get infrastructure passed on a bipartisan level. And somebody tried arguing with me yesterday
Yes.
about the funding for a bridge that is being repaired. And this yahoo comes up and he's like, well, that's being paid for by the state. And then I pulled the information. There it was, $1.6 billion from the infrastructure package.
There you go.
In addition to another $1 billion from the states of Ohio and Kentucky to repair and refurbish a bridge.
Wow.
Between
Isn't
Kentucky
Biden
and Ohio.
doing a great job. And that's just one. He helped get more than 500 million life-saving COVID-19 jabs into the arms of American people.
And let's not even talk about the CHIPS Act.
I don't know about that. Let's not talk about that area.
Okay, no, we can talk about that area too, because what Zeus just stated is an absolute fact.
Yes.
That is what we call a fact.
Yes.
And you don't get to create your own alternative facts. Okay? And let's talk about the CHIPS Act. They broke ground last summer on a new chips factory to create semiconductors and microchips right here in the state of Ohio. That way we are not slaves to China waiting on these things to show up. That's another thing that Biden has done. But here's the fundamental problem I have with you all. When you sit there and you go, well, what has Biden done? Please tell me. You are clearly not paying attention, so you need to stay out of any kind of political debates.
All
First
right.
of all-
What about
first
this
of all-
one? He ended the longest war in
Wow.
American history
What a-
by
what a-
getting us
what
out
a
of
deflection
Afghanistan.
of
Oh
nonsense.
my.
That was a good show of total ridiculousness. Thank you for that.
No, these are
That was
facts. These are facts.
No, the
what
whole
else
thing
has
he just
done?
said.
A $369 billion investment in climate change.
Oh, really? You mean after they gave all the money to put the climate at risk in the
Jerry,
first place?
I thought he was asleep. I thought Biden was asleep when this was happening. Okay, he was asleep when he won.
He probably could have been. That's what you guys don't understand about government. There's a lot more people invested in the country than just the little puppet they put on top.
Zeus, would it be safe to say that Jerry is lactose intolerant?
Yeah.
Lactose. The thing is,
I think it's safe to say that President Biden is probably taking his nap right now.
What about the crime?
Some beautiful thing. You
The
try to
level of crime
polish a
now.
turd and say, "Look, everyone,
What crime?
Joe Biden made a turd all by himself."
You kidding me?
I mean, what
Isn't it
crime are you
beautiful?
speaking to? Are you talking about just in general, like unalivings, shootings, problems with firearms in this country? I mean, sure.
What? Are you talking about Donald Trump's crimes?
No, she said, "What about the crimes?" And I was
Yeah,
just trying to figure
yeah.
out what she said.
I'm talking about Trump's crimes. Never
Look, we
have
got
we
some.
seen a president commit so many crimes.
We've never had a president. We've never had a president who's committed so many crimes. We're so great at it. Okay. And what we do is we crime so hard. We call it ball so hard. That's what Jay-Z said. But I say crime so hard, okay? Crime so hard, so strongly,
Oh,
so
there's your
true.
rapper.
Tippecanoe and Tyler too, okay?
Oh, so
So
Trump,
great.
you're a rapper.
What's that now?
You're saying Trump is a rapper. Interesting.
Well, I've
He
got
might
more.
as well be.
I've got more cases than Snoop Dogg, okay? That's what I've said. I've said I've got more cases than Snoop. And Snoop and I were. They tried to give me the virus, okay? They tried to give me the virus. And I survived the virus because I had health care that was available to just me and nobody else. And that's why I'm here, terrorizing you. And I'm in your dreams. And I'm in your nightmares. And frankly, we're doing so strong.
Is that also why you're breathing so hard?
Well,
Definitely.
well, I've got long. They
seriously,
call it. Hold on.
look-
Excuse me.
Oh my
They call
goodness.
it long COVID. Okay. They call it long COVID. We got long COVID in the lungs. We've got Alvin Bragg in the throat. We've got a lot of people who have got long COVID.
That's the only thing wrong on Donald Trump is COVID.
Long
Alvin Bragg
COVID.
in the throat. I can't with you.
I had to go on a rant once, Zeus. I had to. The comments were begging. The comments were telling me to do it. They said, you need to do your Trump, Greg. And I know this is your live, and I know I'm centering myself right now, and I really don't care. But I came in hot for you, and just understand
Thank you.
that I got love for you. And it's love, bro. It's so love. We're so lovely.
Thank you. Oh,
We're done.
What about the First Step Act that Donald Trump passed?
The first who?
It reformed and it addressed like inequalities in the sentencing laws that like
That's good.
disproportionately harm Black Americans, and it reformed the mandatory minimums that created unfair outcomes.
There was a bill that he passed for animal abuse that I liked.
Yes, there was. Yeah,
I'll give him
Felony,
credit
yeah.
for that. There was the Operation Warp Speed, which was a phenomenal thing that he got done to get vaccines to the American people. The only problem is, though, that Donald Trump, when he left office, didn't have a plan to distribute the vaccine in place. So it was like we had this plan, but there was no plan to get them in arms. And that's where Joe Biden came in and said, we're going to deploy the Defense Production Act, which is essentially a military strategy where we're going to have military members getting the vaccine to the American people all across the country, which was phenomenal because that got our numbers a lot higher, a lot faster. So he does deserve credit for that as well. And I can give Trump credit for getting the vaccine just as well. So I think if you're going to say, pick a couple of things that you like, there you go. I'll give it to you. But we have to understand that Joe Biden inherited all of this. And I think that's what people don't get.
Yes.
And Swerven has said it himself. He has said,
Oh my gosh! Come on now.
Y'all
I
always
mean,
say he's racist.
Joe
or he's
Biden has been
homophobic,
in politics for what, a century now? Don't tell me like he just walked in and I got to deal with inherited all this nonsense from the other party. He's been there the whole bloody time.
He had a lot of things that he had to deal with.
Jerry, here's why you are lactose intolerant. Everything that Joe Biden inherited when he didn't inherit anything. He didn't inherit anything.
I would have to follow up.
He's talking.
He didn't inherit
he's talking
as a senator.
I didn't know he was
When he
Go
became
ahead.
president, he inherited Donald Trump's BS. If you don't understand that, you are completely lactose intolerant.
You know what?
Hey,
why didn't Biden run
RC wants in? Can I drop for him?
Yes.
Why didn't
And then I got to run.
Wow. So because he didn't run in the first place, so why didn't he run then? And then he could have been just sitting there pretty off of the former administration with him and Obama.
What in the
but
heck
wait,
does that matter? He was
He
not
didn't
going
do
to
that.
run. Oh my God.
Right
This
about
is
what
this is why I
Trump
couldn't
did
talk
in
to
his time.
this is why I
Trump took
can't
on
talk
some
to
really
Jerry.
big stuff
Don't
while
let him
he
get to
kept
you,
going.
Swervin. Don't let him get to you. But
Yeah.
then you can
Don't let
talk.
me into your head like you let Trump into yours.
No,
Jerry,
because
Jerry,
Jerry,
he's
cut it out.
lactose intolerant.
Yes.
Jerry, do you prefer Trump? Would you rather Trump be in office?
It's not it. That's not my point. My point is not that I
What is
prefer
your
Trump
point?
or Biden. I would actually prefer a whole completely different
Okay,
party
but
that
that wasn't the
actually was
choice.
going to do
That
something.
wasn't the
I'm on
choice.
the
But
It
same
was
page as
Biden
you,
or
but
Jerry.
Trump.
that
But it
but
was
this is
Biden
what I
or Trump. Why can't you
all I
tell the
know is
difference?
Hold
between
on.
Biden
One
and
at
Trump.
a time.
I'm going to do a forecast, a psychic
Oh
forecast.
my Lord,
I think
Jerry.
that the Democrats are going to continue to say stupid, ridiculous things and try to make more false claims that they can't
Jerry,
prove. And
Jerry,
then
do
all
you
of a
care
sudden,
about
Trump's
women's
going to be back
rights?
in office.
Jerry,
And then,
Jerry,
and at this point,
Jerry,
I'll just be like,
focus,
well,
focus,
well done,
Jerry.
Hold on.
I know
Democrats.
Let him
you
But
like to
talk.
ramble, Jerry, but do
you
you
put
care about women's rights?
not
Do you
the
care about transgender
you.
rights?
What? Now, what about
Do you
transgender? No,
care?
Jerry,
Do
are
you
you
care
able to
about
hear the
women's
other
rights,
gents?
Jerry?
Not the transgender rights against children. Those are crazy, y'all.
Marie,
No
I'll get to
child can
you in a
make that
second.
decision.
Jerry,
No
what are you
child.
Jerry, do
talking
you
about?
care about women's rights, Jerry?
What rights of women in particular are you referring to? Because I see
He's
like you're trying
Oh
talking
to set
about
the
wow,
stage.
abortion.
So
Jerry,
go ahead.
the
What
right to
woman's right?
choose. Do you care about the women right to choose, retaining the right to choose? Do you care about that?
Yes, I deeply care about
Well,
that,
then you
but it
should
was
have
really
voted for Joe Biden.
they just kind of let that all
Then
slide
you
under
should have
there.
voted for Hillary
I
Clinton
fixed,
and Joe Biden. You should have
no, wait,
prioritized things.
he
Uh,
didn't fix that. No, he didn't. Right? Go on.
now.
I'm sorry, Jerry. Jerry, you clearly wanted Trump to be reelected. That's just clear to everybody. Marie, can I
No,
ask you a
it's not.
question? What
It's
Trump
clear. Well,
policies do
if I
you,
just
Jerry?
said
I'm
I
done with
don't
you.
Sure.
care who
Go
gets
ahead.
Jerry,
reelected,
I'm done with you.
Wait a
Marie,
second.
it's not
what
that
It's
policies does
getting too
Trump have for you?
spicy in the
that
box.
I
It's
care.
getting too spicy.
So
Jerry, can we at
yeah,
least have some conversations?
yes, let's
Uh,
have a conversation. Let Jimmy
Jerry,
up. Let Jimmy
Jerry
help
doesn't
with
want
this.
a conversation. Marie, what Trump
He likes to
policies
talk.
does he
He
have?
likes to talk to some of these people who
I
just like to
like
no,
try
the
to
fact.
he's talking to Mandy now. So Jerry, you can
go ahead.
relax.
I like the fact that he is going after human trafficking. I've never seen a president put in so many things to help with the trafficking. I mean,
Okay.
this is.
If I gave you information showing that trafficking convictions dropped under Trump after having gone up under Obama, would that matter to you?
Say it again. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Convictions for trafficking dropped under Trump after increasing under Obama. If I gave you that information, would that change your mind?
Anything can change my mind. I'm very open-minded.
Okay.
If you
So the
show
first
me,
thing you brought up, you're wrong about.
okay,
So
go ahead.
so what else do you support Trump about?
Well, I mean, I like the fact that he was kind of an outsider, and I really think that everybody attacks him because I really wonder why everybody in the world attacks Trump like they do.
Do
And
you
I really
think
think,
do you
Hold
think
on,
Obama would have
let him
been
answer.
elected? Do you think Obama would have been elected if he'd had three wives he cheated on and had to pay
Hold
off
on, let him
porn stars?
answer.
I don't look at things like that because I
You gotta
think that
let her
everybody
answer,
has their
buddy.
own kinks and whatever they want to do.
But you
But I look at the policies, I guess, more than I
what
do.
policies? Oh my God. We're back to this. What policies, Mandy?
I mean, you always say like he's racist and things, but I mean, he signed three
Melinda,
bills to benefit Native American. One gives compensation to tribes for the loss of their lands in the 1900s. He signed, let's see, the
He
cruelty to
insulted
animals
Native
thing. I like that.
American World War II heroes by calling Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas in front of a portrait of Andrew Jackson, but never mind
Biden
that.
called the military right in front of him stupid bastards. I mean, can go back and forth.
No, he didn't. Trump
The
actually said
First
people
Step
who
Act,
served
I
this
really
country are
like.
suckers. Trump denigrated POWs. Trump actually tried to overturn the election. I mean, do you want to go down the patriotism road? I was asking you about
He
policy.
signed into law
thank
up to
you.
12 weeks for paid paternal leave or millions. Trump administration provides HIV preventative drugs for free for 200,000
Okay,
uninsured
were any of those
patients.
things opposed by Democrats? You're talking about things at the margins. He was talking about
But these are things
replacing.
that he done, you
He
know?
didn't really do that much. He talked about replacing healthcare. He made that worse. He talked about infrastructure for 4 years was infrastructure week. Biden got that done. So what policies are you back to? Again, you kind of
Oh,
sound like you
wouldn't that
don't
be
really
the
know.
thing? The
I've
work that Trump
said
already did.
I mean, you're just not listening to
I
me.
am
I mean, that's
listening, but you're
fine,
not
but
really giving me. He talked about major policies like healthcare, but he failed. He talked about infrastructure, but he failed. And you're talking about things on the margins that ultimately Democrats did support, like HBCU money. I
right.
mean, what are things you
I
think?
know, but that's something that Trump put up, is what I'm saying. You
But
asked me
that's
what
something that Obama
policies
and
that
Biden have put up too. What I'm talking about is you're pretending Trump gets all this credit for basically inheriting a good economy from Obama and Biden, and you're pretending he
you
had
don't
major
think that
policies
Donald
there.
Trump had anything to do with the economy.
I think
No,
that
he
he
didn't.
started a trade war that damaged our economy. I think he got lucky and inherited the Obama Biden economy, and without that, he had nothing to brag about.
You know, it's sometimes like you guys don't even understand how government works because you guys just keep
Jerry, I
yelling
don't even
about
think you
the
understand
presidential
because you
people,
you don't even understand the
and that
difference between Biden and
it's
Trump. You
different.
didn't even
Like, oh,
vote
well, when
probably, so
they
maybe you
came
should
in, it's
sit this
because
out.
they came in and the seat was comfortable, and then
Dude,
they
you don't
messed
even care
everything
enough
up,
to
and now
vote
I
to
have to
protect
deal with
women's
All
it.
right.
rights, Jerry.
All right, ladies
What are you
and
talking
gentlemen.
about? I
Zeus, can
support
I
women's rights
Zeus,
very much.
Order in the
I don't
court.
know
I
what
don't
you're
have a
talking
Zeus,
about.
hammer.
where's the hammer,
Swerve, what
brother?
do you
Zeus,
got?
where's the hammer?
I need it. I need it. I
Yeah.
don't have the hammer in the
So
closet.
here's what I want to say.
His hammer clearly isn't oozing today.
I wish it was.
Here's what's funny to me. Like, people want to sit here and talk about inflation, right?
Gym time, yes.
They won't say anything about Donald Trump, the trade wars that he started with all the electronics coming from China, with all of the avocados coming from Mexico. And the people that actually pay those tariffs that y'all thought were such a great idea, we ended up paying for it because the companies aren't going to pay them. So what do? They charge a higher cost. And the American family ended up paying on average, I think it was something like $1,800 more for their annual grocery bill, right? So that's when your inflation started. And I just find it very hypocritical when you're sitting here and you're blaming Joe Biden for inflation, but you didn't have any qualms when Donald Trump put tariffs on us. And then Donald Trump, I'll give you an example. We have a $500 billion trade deficit with Canada. That's what Donald Trump said. And the trade deficit is not what you think it is. It doesn't mean that we owe Canada $500 billion. No. All that means is Canada bought $500 billion worth of stuff from us, and we didn't buy as much from them. But y'all ate it up. Y'all sprinkle some sauce on it, a little bit of salt, maybe some hot sauce, and you ate it up.
Nasty.
What about, I think it was
Thank
called
you,
like
Swervin.
the Canada, Mexico,
Yeah,
United States
yeah,
agreement. Is
yeah,
that what you're talking
yes,
about?
yeah, yeah,
Why
yeah.
are you being so hateful?
And then you know what? Then you know what?
Keep
Trump
it
hates
clean.
me too,
But
man.
wait a minute, let me finish.
I don't hate you.
She just, I'm not
Trump
hateful either.
hates me.
I'm not hateful either.
No,
But
no,
yeah,
no.
we
I
know
don't
Donald
think
Trump.
I
We
thought
know Donald
people hate
Trump
you. So
renegotiated
He called me an enemy of America, Jerry.
But wait a minute.
Wait
We
a
know
second.
Donald
Let's
Trump.
where we talk. And then we got to wrap this up because Zeus does have to go to the gym. All
We
right.
know Donald Trump renegotiated NAFTA, and then what did he do? He turned around and slapped tariffs on Canada, and he renegotiated that with Canada. That's what's hilarious to me. And so what did Canada do? They said, all right, America, you're going to put a tariffs on our aluminum. We're going to charge you more for our aluminum. And guess what never happened? Nobody in America started manufacturing aluminum again. Why? Because it was more profitable. Yeah, we still manufacture a certain amount of aluminum, but not like we used to. But y'all won't look into this stuff. You sit here and he
I'm
did
going to
this.
look into everything y'all have said.
well, you do know
did
that
this.
because of how
And
they
he
like to
negotiated
handle a
this.
lot
But
of the land in the United States,
Jerry,
that it's mostly
please.
contaminated now.
Jerry, you're
So
completely
that's why they get
lactose
the stuff from
intolerant. I'm
overseas
not
because
interested
it's
in anything you
cheaper
have to
and
say.
it's more effective, and it's not profitable in the U.S. due to
Nobody,
some of the things that they let happen over the years.
Jerry,
You
you're
do
lactose
know that, right?
intolerant. You do nothing but interrupt people. I'm not interested in anything you have to say.
Well, I have to interrupt you because you just garble a lot of ridiculousess. Too much.
Yeah,
Too
just
much.
Saying,
like
what is he saying, Jerry? That
just like you do, Santa Claus.
Oh, look at
Jerry,
you're
Jerry,
gonna get a
can I
good
ask
oh
this.
my
Jerry,
God. Let's keep
why
it
did you
clean,
think it was
gentlemen. There
funny?
needs to be order in Olympus. All right. Now,
No,
Jerry,
what
what
I'm saying is
exactly
that
is
based
Swervin
on the
saying that you do?
consumption, and it's more profitable for us to have houses and stuff like that. And a lot of our land is contaminated. I don't know if you know that.
What are you?
It's
What does this all
contaminated.
mean to you?
So that's why you have to get we get the resources from Mexico, the avocados, and all the food comes from everywhere else. It's because the U.S. hasn't done a whole heck of a lot to make sure that we were a safe place. They've
And
literally
Jerry,
stripped all kinds of resources, which desecrates all kinds
Jerry
of land.
completely missed the point.
So,
I
Jerry
know.
completely
I
missed
know
the
what you're
point.
trying to say, but the thing is you're
point
spouting
was,
off a bunch of
the point
nonsense that isn't
was,
true. That
the
isn't
point
true.
was, Jerry, the
Jerry,
point
Trump wanted
was,
to kill the EPA. You need to miss me
hold
with
on one
this.
second,
I
Dubs.
mean,
Jerry, the point was Donald Trump slapped tariffs on Mexico, causing the American citizens to have to pay more for their products from Mexico. That was the point. You're sitting here talking about contaminated land.
If they would put more money into making ourselves self-efficient, that'd be a good idea.
Jerry, I think I get what you're trying to say. You're saying we should grow our own avocados.
Over 40% of America's agriculture comes out of California. So try again, Jerry.
Thank you.
Please try again.
I just
why is that? Why is that? Think about it, genius.
Hold on. He slapped tariffs on China. Right? And then China said, well, you know what, America? We're not buying soybeans from you anymore. So then we had to spend $30 billion bailing out the American soybean farmers in this country. It wasn't because of contaminated land. It was because of his dumbass actions.
There's a lot of contaminated land. You don't even know about it.
All right.
Okay.
Listen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We've reached that point in the live where Zeus does need to get out of here. People are looking for me. All right. So,
I love you, brother. You keep holding it down.
I'll see y'all next time.
Dubs, I'm gonna fire up my live here if you want to come on over and we can talk about this some more.
Yeah.
Zeus, you keep holding it down in Olympus. I'm gonna keep holding it down in the Fortress of Solid Truth.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Down in the bunker.
Wow.
All
A fortress of
panelists,
lies.
any last remarks?
Split the
before we
Red
get
Sea.
out of here?
Jerry,
Any
nobody
last
cares.
remarks, panelists, before we get out of here. You all can have your last remarks. If you're going to go live, make that announcement before we get out of here.
I will be starting my live here in about 5 minutes.
Follow
Okay,
Swerve.
so I will see you all later. Zeus, like I said, brother, keep holding it down with Olympus. You carry that hammer strong and you wear that crown tight, my brother.
It's strong. It's stronger than it's ever been.
I'll see you later, Swerve.
All right.
Take care, gentlemen. Take care, Mandy. Good meeting you today.
Y'all get a room.
Anything you would like to say before we depart, Poker Dad?
I just want to say, I think it's, again, the key thing was,
Thank y'all for the coins. I didn't. That's the first time I've ever got. I'm just now starting to go live, so I'll see you guys again.
All right.
But it was good talking to everybody.
All right. What was that, Poker Dad?
No, I just want to make sure that everyone understands, because obviously there's a certain level of seriousness that has to come out of these conversations.
Correct.
The fact of the matter is this is something that entertains us. And this is something that through the entertainment, we're able to come together and have the opportunity to learn more about the other side of whatever our convictions are. That being said, split the Red Sea. Can we do that?
Yeah! Split it.
Republicans! Stand up.
Oh, they always get me with that. Fair enough, Poker Dad. I can live with that, but I'm not with the red right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, vote blue. Put those blue waves in the comment section, okay? So that these people on the right know that those votes that Biden got in 2020 were real. Jerry.
Yes. Thank you so much for this opportunity to address this ridiculousness. Guys, stop being distracted, so easily distracted. But I know that it's important for our ego to feel like we know something, even when we don't. So stop going on a witch hunt. Stop trying to think you're going to get some kind of fair equality. If your parents didn't tell you the truth, life isn't fair. Okay, we have to do the best that we can with what we have to work with. And when you guys are all arguing about ridiculousness, you're never going to get on the same page to make anything happen. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much for your support. I couldn't do this without you and all those encouraging words and statements that make me feel so powerful inside.
Okay.
Peace and love, everyone.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah.
I love you.
No, no, that's enough. Dubs, RC Dubs. What's going on, champ?
I'm pretty sure Jerry's planning on voting for Trump a third time. But anyway,
You're right.
I'm really just tired of the false equivalency, both sides nonsense. If you can't tell the difference between Democrats and Republicans right now in this current situation, then you're not paying attention and you're part of the problem.
Fair enough. I agree. All right.
Figure out where I'm.
All right.
Yeah, whatever.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we've had an exciting day in the closet of truth. Thank you to all of my panelists. Sorry I had to drop you, but I got to get my last 2 cents in before we wrap this up. I will be back Monday morning. I do my lives Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. Pacific time, okay? And I will be bringing more truth from the studio, okay? Where we got all of the special tools needed to hold people accountable, especially my friends on the right. Now, before I get out of here, Trump supporters, you know what time it is, okay? And you know what I got to say before I leave. Okay, Poker Dad, you tried to steal it, but it won't work. Some try to steal it, but it won't work. And you know exactly what it is. Yes, please vote blue. And put the blue wave in the comment section. Yes, can we say it together? Thank you for those Zeus hands, Heaven. But we reached that point in the live where we must thank Jack Smith for holding the former president accountable for his dirty, disgusting, filthy deeds. And to those Trump supporters out there who like to go up against me, Zeus, God of sky and thunder. Yes, Triple H. Why? Because I'm the most honest, humble, and handsome man on this platform. You know what time it is. Trump supporters, get those knee pads ready, because Jack Smith is coming.